say they want like peace with the Shias, what they're really doing is like preparing for even more cataclysmic war. So everything comes down to MBS because like MBS is every king or crown prince, especially in like the Saudi kingdom, like you never know like if you're gonna make it. Like MBS is probably like, constantly trying to like prevent assassination himself.
Extends Iran shoes.
MBS has blocked me on social media, and like the fact that the like future king of Saudi Arabia has blocked me, it's like laughable. It's so stupid. Instagram. Could you imagine like he specifically, yeah, MBS has me like specifically went to my account and like blocked me. John Kitover.
See running that shit.
No, it's me. I post everything. I just got this new book. It's called The Many Faces of Islam: Religion and Politics in the Muslim World by Muhammad Ayub.
Wait, are you serious? You're writing a book for real on Islam.
No, I didn't write it. I bought it. I bought it.
I was like, no way, man.
But see, this is the thing with AI. Technically, whatever interest you have, you should be able to publish a book to Amazon within just like a few hours, I'm gonna try. I need to like put that on my calendar to like work on is like to try to create books on various topics that I enjoy and publish those.
What would it be on?
Probably like uh I would label it, well, probably like Hermetic mysticism, Gnosticism, and solipsism, and psychological therapeutic devices through those, traditions, something like that. And then
Yo, Illumi, man, you're not. I don't think you're exploiting the full potential. Guy no, I'm serious. What? He makes full conversations, bro. You guys are monkeys. No, no, he.
zip it, chimp. Zip it, chimp. I heard that on here yesterday. I was dying laughing.
Anyways, yeah.
We're not talking about nothing. I'm just saying that Amazon and AI is a business opportunity. I made money selling books like throughout high school. I mean, I paid for college.
What's your Alistair? What do you do for a living, Amazon?
I'm retired. I'm a retired military veteran, and I'm running for mayor of Chicago, Illinois.
Collecting. That's cool.
Well, by hook or crook, Uncle Sam is going to take your estate upon your death, anyways. It's called probate. You don't make it out alive. You are born penniless. You're gonna die penniless. It all goes back to the state upon your death, unless you have, family.
Oh,
Yeah, the IRS takes it all. I used to work with this chick. She's like, I had to quit. I took all this woman's money who had cancer. And she was like, don't take my money, I'm gonna die. I took that woman's money, then she died. I felt so bad. I had to quit. Couldn't keep doing that for the IRS. I was like, holy shit, are you serious? She's like, yeah. You just you take down people's money. It's horrible.
yeah, the taxpayers, the tax collectors, I guess.
Like, how does modern tax collection work in all Islamic countries across the planet? From Oman to Yemen to everywhere. Like, how do they do taxation? And what's their marginal tax rate for the taxpayer? Hello?
Max 10%. But a good country would be running on like 4% max. But a tier S country would run on zero taxation. But obviously, that's not realistic for most countries in the Muslim world. Basically in all around. But man, freaking 35%, 40% is too much. That is too much.
See what's interesting now. I'm looking into this, and I live in a bubble, and I think these countries are not developed or something. But PricewaterhouseCoopers does all the taxation in Saudi Arabia, and so these are big auditing and accounting firms, and man, I mean, I there are just Saudis that live in such incredible luxury. They're just born into massive families on massive compounds with 30 Bugattis. And, they just live their best lives, racing camels, eating goat meat, having a good old time in the desert. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. All right, so what about the book you bought? What piqued your interest?
I'm just like whatever topic I listen to here on Clubhouse, eventually I'm just like, you know what? I might as well just buy some books on these recurring topics like Muhammad and the history of Islam. Um so I just went on Amazon or I went on eBay and I just typed in, you know, Islamic book, Muhammad book, something like that.
Like the history of Islam, like bro, you could literally just hop on Wikipedia, learn about the history of Islam.
I know it's basically collectible, but the reason why I buy the books is because like I don't want to come to Clubhouse and just talk. I would rather come here and just read, at least 20% of the time. And so whatever the topic is, I want to have a book and then try to share something interesting with all the people here.
The recommendation is to do that, and then he stopped. Like, I don't
No,
know.
I still do it. But see, I always do it also on YouTube. So like I clip all the readings on YouTube. So people on YouTube, but none of it is keyword tagged. So like if I read a book,
Sit there, just read a book. I believe he wouldn't even let people on. It would just be him.
yeah.
Just got tired of it.
No, I still do it.
I would say for the life of the prophet would be the sealed nectar. This one is good. That's the popular one. Well, at least it's a good like general. What's the best Sirah of the Prophet in Arabic? Like, what's the best Arabic book about it? Yeah, like the classical standard one. Sirah al-Nabawiyah by Ibn Ishaq. Yeah, this one. Or by Ibn Isham. Oh, by Dr. Yasir Aqadi. I was planning actually to buy Sirah Nabawiyah. don't understand why, most people, they don't even research standard books when it comes to the life of the prophet. They would rather just listen to rumors. It's crazy.
Well, I had never see like I hadn't I had assumed that there was like an Islamic constitution. And then when I finally read about this Medina, supposed constitution, I was like, "Oh, thank God." I was like, cuz now I can finally read what the law is, but that's not really Sharia. That's more of like I've always been interested in like what is the real history of Islam versus what is the religion of Islam because to me like the history is the real religion and the religion is more of like a combination of culture, politics, philosophy, literary, like tradition, all these like other things. So I don't know, to me I've always been like what's because I've seen the movie but I'm like what's the real history of Islam that people don't really talk about or know about because it's not going to be pretty, right? So like from a perspective of like attacking it or understanding their exclusive claims, I can always like basically win the argument against a Muslim because from our perspective, it'll seem like, you know, just not fair.
Yeah. Actually, I'll give you the same offer I give everybody. If you can hop in an AI and we set it up for 3 attempts each. The straight up truth seeking, you know, you could prompt it. There's a lot of, you know, truth seeking protocols out there, truth retrieval. You would set it up. You would present your case, and you would have pretty much, if you're starting, you would have 2 rebuttals, and I would, uh, it would lock up at 3 attempts. What did we call it? I forgot. Battleground.
So yeah, it was like what would be cool is if like when you set up a room on Clubhouse that you could do a timer. So like everybody would get 1 minute and it would the green bean would just like rotate through the stage and give everybody 1 minute and then auto mute everybody else. Like I would prefer to use Clubhouse that way as opposed to having, like actual humans moderate. It would just be much better if it was like an app called like 1 minute to talk or, change yeah, change it to 3 minutes, change it to 5 minutes, whatever. But like the interruptions, like, because if you really want to come here to learn, I don't think anybody can learn anything here. I think you just learn people's like prejudices, biases, and projections and spams and like I intentionally want because this is a safe space to like infuriate people to a very high degree. And like because there are so many arrogant people here who think they're right and know everything because that's the way the brain works. And when a brain is confronted with someone who is essentially intentionally gaslighting them, it proves that they're not that smart, that they don't actually they're not in control of their brain. Their brain is fully automated and they just don't know that. Hello?
Anyways, reference. If you can have this book, Life of Muhammad by Ibn Ishaq, Isaac. That's a good one. I think I'm gonna buy it. This is such a productive use of time, man. What? It's just completely waste of time. What? This. Clubhouse, yes. That's why. No, you. This is just, you can't, like, seriously, you have an ADHD problem, or you just can't hold reason long enough. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Highly recommend. You shouldn't do this to yourself, man. Just go to school. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm recommending a book, man. There's nothing freaking ADHD about doing so. That's great. He recommended it. I mean, and anyways, yeah, I also have like other books to recommend. It's on my cart, Amazon cart. Here, there's Riyad al-Salihin. This one seems to be interesting. There's the lost books of the Bible and the forgotten books of Eden. Many biblical material. I'm interested in that. You have also the Nag Hammadi. This one I already have it. Ooh. Yeah, these are like that's the recent interest. The fuck? Friends of Shabbat. Oh, that was not on reading those. Why do I have this guy on over?
So like, there's also something else that I thought about today, that like there's a certain percentage of the population which is like actually completely, mentally gone, or meaning that like they're just not there anymore. The brain stops working essentially. So there's a certain percentage of all employees, like say in the government or at Google or at Microsoft, out of all those millions of people at Walmart, et cetera, that like are just like brain rotted out, you know, even if they're in high levels, positions of power, et cetera. Like it's hard to detect who is like, basically R worded out. And so throughout history, we have basically like human biological, body failure, brain failure, that like is probably responsible for a lot of shit, that could have been prevented, but the people's, and it's not a question of morality, it's just a question of like, you know, the body just like fucked.
I've seen Underwood military get there's so much shit.
I mean, the fact that like people can keep coming on Clubhouse every single day, and like actually function, means that like the human body is extremely good at like every day, you know, reworking. So there's just a it's just a point at, in your life eventually where shit will be like way more difficult than it was ever before, because your body is like, dying and breaking down. And anyways, I'm just saying, it would be cool to know the history of like error in, human progression through biological, functional, you know, malfunction. Hello?
Yeah. So that's I would say the biggest threats right now it's the food we ingest and the lack of like activities. I guess maybe these are the main the main problems. Obesity, obesity. I don't know how to say this word. Yeah, and all the drugs like vaping. You all just can't keep yourselves focused on something objective. Y'all just have to be. It's like, especially y'all like dogs, you know. Yeah, this for die. Time you it's like all you want to do is just bark at everybody. It's like no one's gonna like you, man.
Why why are why are people why are people who use vape so sensitive about, vape? It's like it's an insecurity.
Trying to like take me down a peg.
Yeah, but you're not the Super Saiyan in your PTR. You're just like a vapor on a conference call app.
Really engaging. I might as well be God Almighty.
See, that's your delusion where I've heard you on this app say for all intents and purposes, like if you're a green bean, you're a god, like this is the matrix, but your real world, I know this is part of the real world, but I'm just saying that like we do live in like a matrix where I don't know, I had some kind of interesting thought about it the other day, but I think everybody just comes to that, once you see that movie, you're like, can I control my environment in a way that I didn't know I could control it before? Like, what's the technology to do that? I mean, is there like, actual, see, this is why I like religion because it gets into like telepathy or mind control or like, uh, quantum basically. Like a lot of these spiritual books eventually get into quantum physics and meditation and like what that can do for you, like in terms of like hypothetical, teleportation or like if you but the whole thing it really deals with your goals. Like if you really are free Palestine and you want just social justice for Palestinian people, well, great, that's your goal. Um, but you can use it's the
Want
N word. No N word?
to be that guy.
Well, I'm just saying that like meditation, you should try to keep it classy. No, I'm just saying like if you were to teach a course on meditation, you wouldn't I mean it's all on YouTube, it's all live, so basically, yeah. I'm doing it right now. Hello? I don't know, Super Saiyan. Like,
Well,
see, you're so you don't I am a Dragon. I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, so I appreciate your PTR. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't understand that this is the secret thing about Dragon Ball Z is that when they go Super Saiyan, no, what I'm saying is like Thoth Hermes Trismegistus is associated with a monkey, and it's the same thing with the Super Saiyans, where there's something about man and monkey, meaning that like you transform from the monkey into like the higher level intelligence man, and like that's the wisdom, and the magic. So
that people who achieve higher levels of consciousness, in a sense, that's literally like how do you say this? Like an expansion on the uh yeah, it's like it's an expansion on the evolution scale in a sense.
yeah, I- I've heard I heard that the body isn't what's evolving, it's the soul or the consciousness.
Yeah,
So like all this bullshit about evolution has always been retarded because it's actually metaphysic, not literal. And that's why I love to call it the theory of evolution. And when you call it a concept, it upsets people because people are so highly indoctrinated with the word, they fail to see that it's just a concept. So that's why if you go back to the Matrix, it's like we're living in this metaphysic matrix more than anything else, and words are the biggest thing going. It's just like spam is, yeah, information see, but the problem is we don't have a mechanism that allows intelligence to supersede all other mechanisms, and we get this horrible political conundrum throughout history. Like we need a way to experiment at least with the possibility of letting AI determine our actions because we have confidence that it's a superior intelligence to our, monkey minds. Hello?
What did you meant before when you said that AI is expanding the language, our language? Like, do you mean it in a positive way? Because I would say that I think that by using AI, like I've learned so many words that, didn't use before, right? So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's like that Shiva or having like 36 arms. AI just gives you like multiple arms to multifunction. And but even then it's kind of slow because even if it makes a suggestion to you, you still gotta like cognate you gotta like decide to click their prompt suggestion. Like how do we like get it to where it's like, because a lot of my stuff is just like a lot of my content that I create with AI is because of other content. So I don't know, I have a large library and like I know that if I pick up a book and read it, it's basically AI recorded in the pages from some human's lived experience and research. And that's why books are so valuable. It's like somebody's soul put into a good book, a very intelligent book. That person was very intelligent. So a book is like a transmitter and a storage device of high value intelligence. I hate saying this shit because like I've had these conversations for years. But what I'm saying is, like, when you mix AI with books and art and everything else, like, life is actually pretty cool because of AI. It's not depressive. It's not bad news. Like, AI can speed up your intelligence accumulation to a very high degree.
I think because, I was questioning, I had this question today, which the question was if this era we're entering right now is like the era of AI, who would excel more in this era? Like looking at the population today, I would say the people who will maybe excel would be, yeah, high functioning, like people who have high cognition, right? The people who are able to recognize patterns quickly and just adapt. What about like the people who, like the working class, who just don't give a damn about it? I think these guys, the only like the people who are doing manual stuff, like real manual stuff, like constructing workers, plumbers, maybe electricians, like these guys, I don't think necessarily they will be affected any soon. It will still operate. Nobody wants to take that position unless robots. Yeah, robots can come and could literally one day do this job. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just it's a fascinating world. It's hard to imagine the future at this point because it could go in so many directions. Like I think the one of the things that could literally happen is that it's just gonna be like who has the best robot, and then everyone will try to kind of like, the smarter the bots that works for you are, the more money you will receive. In a sense, they're gonna go and hunt money for you. In a sense, they're gonna have to outsmart.
Well, did you ever see did you have you seen Avengers with Ultron?
No, I was young when the
Well, the saying, the fear is that the AI is going to escape the laboratory, meaning that like a dangerous like, you know, laboratory creation will get out and like it'll be like a virus that can't be controlled in the internet, something like that.
s- s- Will Smith and the
Yeah,
robot.
I robot. See, well, I was in my backyard the other day and I was looking at a tree, and then I was trying to like, there's so many branches and so many leaves, and I was like, okay, we are the leaves on a network of branches, and but there's other variables that are interplaying with that tree. The wind, for example, is like constantly rustling it, and then you've got the roots that go deep. But the metaphor of the leaves on the network is what's really happening here. So, like, if you're gonna, whatever you're gonna do in life, it's basically through that network. It doesn't like there is an invisible network that connects all of us, and it's just communication and language. But so much of that network is just spam or signal noise. And so, in true intelligence is like, I hate to quote that disgusting freak show, Sam Altman, but like they're ruthlessly efficient with their time. And they basically only deal in compressions. Like if you communicate with them and you don't give them compressions, they'll be like, okay, peasant, enjoy your non compressed life. Farewell.
Yeah, that's true. So I would say, man, there is. I do believe that there is a subconscious, like a subconscious, like a humanity subconscious, right? That would be part of like the air, right? In your metaphor you use, or the consciousness of humanity. And it's like some humans are able to tap into that subconscious better than others, whereas others maybe they don't even sense it. I don't know, but they're maybe they have like other gifts in a sense, like they're better at like whatever adapting adapting in their environment and looking for the material world, right? Whatever. So I don't know, man. It's
Well, did you see that one movie with Tom Cruise? You know that movie with Tom Cruise where it's like he keeps dying in the battle until he like figures out how to like get to the guy that he's got to get to. You know which movie I'm talking about? Yeah, Day After Tomorrow. So
go ahead.
I'm just saying that seems to be what life is like really all about. That it's like you're constantly organizing and optimizing, and every day you wake back up and it's like Groundhog Day. And so yeah, I mean, I just find myself like organizing, like, and so I would assume that the most successful people in society are like the most organized, or they inherited other people's extreme organization. Hello?
Tom Cruise could have done just from the experience of death and return to. He didn't go scream to a sign. Just, like, bro, that alone would have, just blown everybody's mind. Like, understand it's a true reality that someone can return from the dead. Like that alone would stop fighting. I think that alone would have left an existential kind of. That's actually linked to something I was looking at recently. So when I looked into, because my goal today was actually, bro, it's actually super interesting. So, when you said all the books are like looking at the soul of somebody, I was thinking like the same thing. It's as if each individuals have a signature in the way they think and operate. Now, it's like a QR code in a sense. Now, it's like we have the books of many people. We could literally see how they used to think, right? So I was like, let me analyze the words of Jesus we have from the Gospels. and then I, uploaded a file where it's like the red lines of Jesus, only the sayings without the context. Now I have like a PDF, right, with all the thoughts and all the organization and the breath and his cycle. What's the point of that PDF? The point of that PDF is to upload it into the AI, so every time you need retrieval, the AI can just have the perfect memory to retrieve. Hey, bro, you got to. No, exactly. You don't even have the ability to make projects, bro. You're running on basic. No, no, no. Hey, listen. I do this every day, right? For the past. Where is the Where is it, bro? Anyways, let me just finish the point. So, what I realized by analyzing the psychology of Jesus in a sense is that he completely dismissed the what we would call the 9 to 5. Like he was immune to this form of signal, and that's what allowed him to go more into the inner um into his inner, like, creative world. I don't know how to say this, right? And maybe that's what allowed him to tap more into the subconscious of humanity in a sense, looking at the flaws directly, right? So I don't know, man. I think, someone who's focused in, like, with going out and seeking the money and seeking, like, doing some uh, repetitive work wouldn't necessarily have the time to just sit with himself and trying to look at reality for what it is. So, yeah. And this pattern is similar with Buddha and the Prophet, peace be upon him. Like, they all, at one point, they literally had to shut off the excitation of, like, this dopamine excitation of, like, being like drawn. No, how do you say, like, someone who's like in an ocean, drowning. Anyways, you understand. Drowning in information. They had to kind of like shut off all of this and do a fast of, like, information, kind of. I'm sure. Fuck did that mean? I'm trying to transmit, like, an idea right now. The point is just, like, if I have to simplify it. Bro, you're doing stuff a huge disservice, like jumping through a third language to read. Your first language is French, and I'm. What is it? Arabic? Your second or third? It's your third. Oh my god, bro! You don't even speak Arabic. Let me be honest. So Arabic was the first language I heard, and it's the first language with alongside with French. But the first one I spoke was French, and then with my father, the first language I spoke was Arabic too. Like, both Arabic and French were mixed, but I was better in French, of course, because that's where you. What am I supposed to add every one of your accounts to Kitover? Like, I'm not doing that shit. Who's Kitover? Fucking. This is 371. That is the second guy. You're gonna start selling like 1,000 follower accounts on. For what goal? Told her to message me. I don't know why she's. The point is to say, when I look back at my life right now, it's been a while since there was no fasting of information. I'm not talking about one day. I'm saying, like, you know, we actually never did this. Who did it, anyways? Like, who literally cut himself off from like big information and for what? At least 40 days or 1 month. Man, what? Have you ever tried? Have I ever? Don't worry. I have lived a life where there were no cell phones, and not that I go back that far, but again, that's the third world. So no, no. Listen, Gaza. If listen, if you would have a conversation with, for example, a priest or I recall a life completely without technologies and devices, not telecommunication. That's not enough. Not living with a TV. I'm saying you living in a room where there's only your bed, no books, no phone, nothing. Like just
Yeah, that's called having no content. Yeah, that's having no content. And
when the electricity is out.
the thing is, Damiel, content and contentment are connected. So if you want contentment, you unfortunately need content. Now you could try to get around that, but that's like saying you don't enjoy the flavor of your food when you eat it. So I
Just see how many games are created that are completely based on like paper and pencil. I'm saying content is the whole game within us. So what I'm trying to say is this, right? In if one person truly wanted to read the subconscious instead of reading the conscious, he would have to cut himself off from from the conscious in a sense. Like the what I'm trying to say is like there's that woman that's reading in a cave and like reading over 100 days or something, and she only like time she felt like it was like I don't know like 200 almost. Anyway, she was off big time, and she came out of that like kind of never the same in that sense. So not sure.
see if you want and if you want enlightenment, you have to try to kill like 2 to 3 to 4 birds with one stone, meaning that like you don't want just wait, excuse me. You don't want to just be enlightened. You also want change in your personal life, like a homeless person saying, "Anybody got any change?" Meaning like you don't actually just want the enlightenment. You want to actually enjoy life on the material objective plane, not just the subjective plane. It's best to like actually enjoy life. It's not just like totally a subjective dialectic game of one-upmanship. You got to do real things. Like, I mean, you basically that's why I say we're kind of like squirrels or bunnies. Squirrels are constantly organizing and constantly like playing, but bunnies,
Just like can't focus. Like, should I focus on the AI or the nonsense that is killing me right now? Like, I don't know. It's just because like think I can just go on TikTok. I don't literally don't know what I'm doing. I just kind of got obsessed with my new this PTR. Yeah, about making the PTRs now. Yeah, so there's. But anyways, back to Kitover. Do you see my PTR? Can you refresh?
yeah, a baby, what, making a baby?
Yeah, so when we were talking about the geopolitics of the region and what we want, we don't want what you perceive to be this peace between like a native colonialist, and we have Thanksgiving and we remember. What we want is to make them an example for all the nations to see, to witness what happens when a collective of dogs comes over and tries to attack a region that has seen peace for thousands of years. relative to what is happening today. So, okay, maybe that's exaggeration, thousands of years, but, let's say 1400, okay, ignoring the Crusades, Mongols, but still, post Middle Ages, going into the modern age, industrial age, enlightenment, and all that, relatively peaceful. Um, uh, this this offense against the Muslim world will not go unpunished. We will khaybar the whole shit when we're done. That is just what's going to happen because that is the arrangement that we have with the Jews. The Jews, if they transgress, just apply the Torah on them. That is what we're going to do. When everyone, for the most part, has lost family members and they have lost their children and they have lost their hope, there is no, we're going to go back to, there's not going to be peace. The Israelis only have one choice. You come and get us all, or you fucking get ready.
See, that's all or nothing thinking. I mean, here in Illinois,
My nephew is barely fucking born, gets blown up into pieces. That's fucked up.
yeah, I get it. But what I'm trying to say is, like, after
Get it?
I don't get it. Why getting blown up sucks? I can confirm. Why can't I confirm? I was gonna say though, like after having read the Medina Constitution, my observation has been,
He didn't go and spread the decree to wipe out this synagogue of Satan from the fucking face of the earth. That's the only mistake that he made. But he warned us.
well, listen, I mean, I'm just trying to say that, like, in Illinois where I live, an older gentleman that I know who's an attorney, he ran for politics and then he tried to create a constitutional convention, meaning that he wanted to have like,
Really just a fucking matter of time. And I hope I'm alive for it. I really hope before I'm 40 that, at least 45, I'll take 45. Shit, I'll even join if I'll be like the fucking Russians and the Ukrainians. I really, really hope we get our war.
yeah, but like what to
That trench warfare kind of shit.
yeah, but that see that
None of that. I
oh,
want
you want to be a time traveler. You want a time traveler. You want to get in a ship and go back 100 years ago.
my Doc of Jesus PDF and ask what would he think about any of these people coming and killing and sacrificing innocents in the name of what? In the name of look, Allah.
Do you think
People want to repair the world, and literally in the opening of the chapter of the calf, what does it say? They claim this, and yet they are themselves the corruptors on the land.
do
This
you
is what the يفسدون في الأرض. What is the punishment for corruption on earth? I mean, yeah, it's death, but no, what? No. Full details, please. What? What is the prescription, the punishment that God prescribes to those who cause corruption on? Bro, if someone kills, what? You don't know that. It's the fiction. It's corruption. They are to be. They are. Yeah, so in their right leg and their left arm. or their left leg and their right arm. This is how they would be displayed. This is the punishment of those who cause corruption on earth. Crucifixion. So, I just want to say this, right? So, first, here's the. Seems like Jews really want to bring back the cycle of history. There's no problem. We will be those Romans for you guys. Just give it some time. First of all, let's. No, you always generalize. It's crazy, but oh, I am telling you, a genuine sense. There is no way they're sliding with this. You must be delusional. So here's the thing, right? You don't grind the bones of 100,000 plus, and you think you get away with this. Nobody's gonna get away from any crime. That's in. Yet alone all the other Arabs that have been now what about dismantled and their lives destroyed over this silly project. What about
You like recently get divorced or something? Did your girlfriend leave you? Like, I mean, couldn't even imagine like talking like this in front of like a wife or a sister or a girlfriend. And they would be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Understands what is going on and doesn't hold to our position on this at this point. Even the Western liberal, even the women, even they all see Zionism truly for what it is.
Oh my God, here we go with Zionism. What about the MAGAism? Is MAGAism Zionism?
That you think that is gonna somehow this is gonna lead to a kumbaya. When has an aggressor against the Muslim world, have you ever heard them going off living kumbaya?
Yeah, I mean, I just I don't see what America is doing is not its standard, modus operandi, meaning that like the status quo is what the government is doing, whether it's Trump or Kamala, it seems like they're always doing status quo. So, how do you get around that? It means it means status quo means that like tomorrow is going to be 99.99999. Yeah, I know the progressive movement is a lie. It's just taxation underneath, a different name. It's a scam.
Charging the taxpayers so much if shit wasn't going towards these useless wars? Why are we spending billions of dollars on this one-way ammunition? There's no monetary.
It's the budget.
So we're gonna usurp like Iran's oil, like we did with Iraq
No.
and Venezuela, like what we're gonna do.
But we
Don't see it.
seem to be doing status quo though. Like the budget doesn't change.
I see that the worst of this has yet to appear. Once this war, this shit's gonna skyrocket.
I know. What really annoys me is when Elon Musk says that like the economy will be fixed by AI and robotics, or we're going to become multiplanetary, spaceship species. Like to me, that is just like spam slop for his scam, and it doesn't really solve anything. So I can see how Islam can be a tempting resolution to the problems of reality, but based on that Medina Constitution, I just don't like Muhammad's attitude. It's very despotic and like kingly, and not very nice. I did. I put it all in the chat and like I put the links in there and I read it. I did. Earlier we were doing it and you were screaming as I was doing it.
Just highlighting. All I heard is I literally woke up on you screaming
Oh,
about.
thank God. Beef, 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 beef. I took over the evening shift. Would you mind filling in because I've exhausted myself discussing Islam and the Medina Constitution?
Specifying. Go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm about to head out of here. If you could take over the 2 a.m. shift with Mikhail here to talk him off the ledge and try to explain to him that Islam. Well, he just said that he's hoping that the bloodiest war he ever witnesses comes into fruition because he's a sociopath, psychopath, and he's on the FBI most wanted list, but that's just his best life.
I'll listen to this clown all day, but this guy trying to like aura farm off you now.
There's no aura farmers here, there's just terraformers.
Trying to claim to be a Semite.
Listen, Beef has spent a lot of time talking to Muslims on this app, and he has a PDF where line I get it, but at least review his document and then at least give him a what'd you think about it?
Sam 100 response. I already have it.
Well, it was very popular on YouTube. I screenshotted it and then I overlaid some Allah music, you know? People liked it.
I don't even think it's worth so because a lot of this has just been already. It's not new. It's nothing. That's an AI immediately on its own dismantled like 80% of it, and then I went through the only arguments that are things that people cannot grasp right away is like the different protocols for the Quran. So the 7 rulings on how to recite the Quran. These things where people assume these are like different citation or scripts. No, they're modes. So they're protocols in that sense.
Well,
It's the part that like really kind of involved me.
let me ask Sam a question here. Sam, I don't know if you know what the Constitution of Medina is, but there's 47 clauses in it. And the second clause is one of the issues that I have. It says they shall constitute a separate political unit known as an ummah, as distinguished from all the people of the world. So they've in the second clause they create an in-group and they declare that, basically if you're a non-believer, you're not in the in group known as an Ummah, the separate political unit from the whole fucking world. Isn't that a little self righteous and like, you know, not in the best interest of peace?
How are you gonna, if the prerequisite is to believe in the God of Abraham and the covenant of Abraham and the prophets, and you don't believe in that, how are you gonna be able to join our group? But Alistair, I thought that the Constitution, like included some pagans and some Jews in the Ummah, and that later the Ummah became to mean just Muslims. That was like a later thing. Am not I? Pagans, Jews. There's a clause that says they are one Ummah, one people.
Well, the 14th Amendment of this Medina Constitution says a believer will not kill a believer in retaliation for a non believer and will not aid a non believer against a believer. What I'm trying to say is when you compare the Constitution of Medina to the US Constitution or to the Magna Carta and all these other Enlightenment philosophy and legal systems, you have to conclude that this legal system of Muhammad is whack as fuck, especially in the way that it deals with the Jews.
Students of Islam is the legal revelation. However, again, this is a contract. This is not yeah, it is not something that is.
No, it's not a contract. It's an all or nothing statement. Listen to the 22nd. It says, and whenever you differ about anything, refer to God and to Muhammad. Muhammad gives himself the special ability to become the adjudicator on anything. If you ever have conflict, refer to Muhammad. That's bullshit. That's all or nothing bullshit.
To Moses, refer to Joshua, refer to Daniel, refer to Jeremiah, Zechariah, Jesus Christ. That's the prophet of God. Are you on?
They're the Borg. They act like the Borg. Zip it, chimp.
There is a prophet of God. If there is a prophet of God in our midst, is obedience to him an obligation?
Well, listen to the 24th of Amendment. Oh, what was your question? Go ahead.
It's conditional. So if there was a prophet, on principle, if there was a prophet of God in our midst, do you believe it is an obligation to abide by his rulings?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Can you compress it into one sentence for me? My brain is retarded.
And uh, if there was a prophet of God here right now,
No, I'd prefer to go back to my book club and enjoy my pipe and tequila. I don't understand what's like. I would say if somebody says that and you believe it, like I would need to see a Superman power if you really want me to lay it down. Like,
statement, he, by whatever would suffice to be the evidence, is proven himself. He is the prophet of God. By, do you believe there is an obligation to abide by him?
well, I would have to test him to find out if he's truly the prophet of God.
Green lights.
He cleared all the green lights.
It's if there is a prophet of God in
But have you heard him play music though? Have you heard him play music, make a political speech, or does he do
uh, these people are not people want to engage in any truth or retrieval. These are people who just want to they got nothing better to do. Imagine
it's
you're
true.
coming
But that's
in,
projection. That's projection.
really just wasting your time. Like there's so many better things you could be doing right now if you believe this is to be silly. But
We can
again,
all learn. Now we can start learning again.
social interaction, and you can't get it in a positive way, so you got to get it in a negative way.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, you know what your platform is?
What?
X.
X.
I think you would strive on X.
Strive on X. I'm an X striver.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those spaces where fools who create these false dichotomies literally gain followers because they bring this contention. So people on both
All
sides.
you're doing is projecting ad hominem onto me, bro. You're just ad hominem projecting onto me.
It's just a question.
Because it's absurd. It's an absurd question.
By
I'm
whatever standards you hold, have a method that proves himself and passes these standards. Do you believe there is an obligation to abide by what you now know, in accordance to whatever subjective standard?
got it. I hear it. I hear the question. My answer is no. My answer is no. My answer is no, because I believe there's
Disobey a prophet of God.
no, you didn't let me finish my sentence. What I'm trying to say is I would have extreme doubts as to the all or nothing claims of the new prophet. That's a big, leap of faith. But again, I said it earlier. If he can't do some kind of superpower, I just don't believe it.
The negation of everything that in that positive statement is also true. So, what I like the color. I don't know. Not colors is not good. Whatever. You know.
Well, anyways, you seem very happy in your Uma, and I wish you well in your Uma. That's really at the end what's going on here.
Is literally the positive statement. So that's so it goes without saying. So you don't have to go and tell me this. A prophet, yes, there's no obligation to follow him. That's just common sense, man.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I said your question. the Got it. The problem is with questions is
Answer is yes.
no, it's not. It's you're putting words in my mouth. There's no point in talking to you because you just talk to yourself. Hello?
Just gotta play. I agree. There should be a little AI bot. You got money. You want to just get this over with.
So
Oh, you know.
going to bed.
Now a big with y'all know. Y'all know. This is not uh 2010. We we didn't design these AIs. We're not doing any confirmation bias. Go and ask all your questions and see what it responds to. You could go ahead and provide me a link to that. You don't even have to share space. Just like how at least Sam posted his shit. What do you got?
I got the Constitution of Islam at Medina, bro. That's enough to argue my way into the top 10% of all Islamic debates because I know about the Constitution of Medina.
Thank you. I'll take that.
Hello?
Re-upload it back into an AI, and there you go. And turn it into a combat AI.
Mm-hmm.
Come up and ask a question. They're not even going to waste time. The retrieval probably going to take care of it. They're not even in the same. You said it. You're right. AI should make you faster, smarter, more efficient. This is transhumanism without any of that cyberpunk shit. And what are you guys doing? Confirm bias. No science whatsoever, no scientific method happening, nothing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Security. Security.
Hello? Okay, well, hold on a second. I'm working over here. I just published a new app called Civic Helper, and it's a voter registration app. And, we could debate I just, I want to be in a book club and in a poetry club, and I think that world peace will never happen, and basically war is the status quo.
As long as this cycle of people who think they are above all of humanity and believe that God has bestowed upon them the right to go and wipe out demographics of who? Demographics of literally very people they are claiming that to be descendants of. That's who it is. And when you go and try to falsify their claims and you showcase to them the science, you showcase to them their own archaeologists, the history, their own religion, their own rabbis, for God's sakes, their own rabbinic consensus prior to Zionism and World War II, and you stack that all up, and they still say, throw that behind our back. We're going to commit to this path. This is literally what is in the Quran. This literally describes them in these very terms. This is, one could have said the Quran is an anti Semitic text if it wasn't for the rise of Zionism. But it's like, how is it that this book is proving itself? Why can't we?
Which book?
It literally land the dart straight in the middle, bullseye on anticipating who are going to be the enemies and who are the worst enemies and who would be the. How is it that 1,400 years later these categories still apply?
Because the now is a compression of the past and the future. There is no future, there is no past, there's barely a now. And so it still holds uh it still holds itself up because it's all compressed into now. And you've got 1 billion people who find the content, desirable because that's what you're raised on. It's mostly geographic. Everybody's religion is based on a geographic proximity.
Like the song metaphysics say. This is what we believe. What we believe the past is literally, and the future is yet to be actualized. We are in the eternal dynamic present. I mean, you're describing our doctrine.
Yeah, I know, and a lot of people think that way.
The Christians didn't believe in eternal dynamic present or only the now. They believed in a static
Yeah.
timeless. ones who brought this metaphysical framework that you're describing are the Muslims.
So I can concur with you that my complaint against Islam is Mohammedan law. It's not the esoteric or exoteric teachings of Muhammad.
Laws. There is the laws of God. There is the commandment. That's what there is. The Medina is that's what it is. We're not allowed to have oaths or treaties with the people of the book or any other people actually, as long as they commit to this treaty.
I know, but I don't like lawyers and attorneys.
Someone breaks the treaty is cleared. Go to war, bro. That's what it is. If you look
It's a system of enlightenment. Look at the spiritual knowledge aspect. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
still have their sites till today, hype up. So it's a whole fucking fortress.
I get it, but that's why I'm saying I'm complaining about Mohammedan law, according to Winston Churchill.
Churchill.
Well, he wrote a lot about Islam and how he despised it.
Millions of humans.
Yeah, but you got to look at it from a historical context of Christian and Islam and the history of these caliphates.
Speaking man.
Well, Churchill doesn't like that women are property in Islam. That's the big complaint because Christians feel that they are transcended above the way that a Muslim man, proper makes his wife into property as opposed to like a spiritual soulmate. It's probably not true because I'm sure we could find Islamic teachings about spiritual soulmates, but from an English Christian perspective, it's easy to shit on Islam.
As if the English invented Christianity. Christianity is something that you're going to have to ground into the common era, and you're going to look into the Eastern churches, and before you go way to the West and the Anglican Church, for fuck's sakes. These people. If you're going to compare Christianity, you're going to have to compare the Christianity at the time of the coming of Islam. That is what you're going to compare. But to say the Western Christianity is that somehow an innovation? Is that like a new edition? When did that update come out? And where can I see the full context of that jurisprudence? There's no such thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the esoteric interpretation of Quran, and the Arabic words are tawil and tafsir. Both mean roughly explanation, elucidation, interpretation, and commentary. Like Muhammad is just like Kabbalah, meaning that the body and these seven worlds and these 10 Sephiroth.
I mean, the Jews, if Muhammad was a Jew, he would be the Messiah.
Yeah, but according to Muslims, he is like Messiah. I don't understand. How is he not Messiah to Muslims?
Figure, by all means, by any practical sense, he is messianic.
Yeah, so I mean, there's no debate there.
The savior of Semitic civilization.
But Mormons would say Joseph Smith did the same thing. I mean, Mormons,
Civilization.
according to Mormons, he saved the world. Not if you're Muslim. If you're a Mormon living in Salt Lake City, yeah, and you've been raised that way, yeah, absolutely for that person.
Serious conversation.
That's what you say all the time on this app, but I don't understand why do you keep engaging in non-serious conversations then? Because apparently all you want to do is have serious conversations. You don't want to like have a diversity of conversation. Kick me to the goo for the finally got kicked.
Boom, boom, boom. So you gotta have like a little to really fill out that bottom, and then that'll give it the That's the way I like it. Again, and again, and again, and make Beaver sit in the cock chair. Poor Beaver has to watch all this while he sits in the corner and rubs one out. Oh no, here we go. Party's over. Look, the motherfucking Crowley's here. Jesus, Raboy Noi Chinoiloi. Yeah, you know what? It was like, you want to see one of the most decorated, highly revered fucking men on earth? Aleister Crowley here. Oh my gosh, go see me out. He's a former Central Intelligence agent. I mean, he fucking he's a graduate Citadel. You know, he's a fucking officer in the military. Yeah. And now he records rooms. Everything. Yeah, man. Here, Ghost Alistair, can you... Johnny boy. Me, please. Johnny boy, how do you feel about this guy saying he's going to finger blast Bima? That's crazy.
Well, just get some clamps to hold the flesh back so you can find it.
Oh. Some clamps, he said. Well, what do we... Like some chip clamps, you know, like you put on the bag of chips. You know what? That's crazy right there. He said you got you gotta throw a bag of flour on it to find the wet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. I'm conflicted. Great, now you cock block.
You feel TBD. Anyways, I've been using this new...
Ew, gross. Nah, you fat like you fat. Big, right? Is that right? I'm fat with a PH, but with an F. What? A big girl, big girl. You with a 280.
Big girl.
280 and 5'7". That's your 5'6".
We don't need to defeat Iran. We just need to send Bima in high heels, and she can produce more oil than the island of Suez.
You have to elevate her feet above her heart, so all the fluid gets off her ankles.
Oh. If you were homeless and you had diabetes and your ankles were the size of like tree trunks,
I guarantee you've been rich.
I get it, but I'm just trying to say that, like, if you're homeless living with diabetes and your legs are the size of tree trunks, you might as well just rob a bank or do something like that, because you're gonna pop.
Fucking $150 begonias.
Oh gosh.
I don't know, bitches.
Well, I just planted like $50 worth of flowers in my backyard, and I look out my window earlier, and the squirrels are just eating all of the seeds. It's like, how do I grow anything when these squirrels just eat everything? Well, that's what I started doing, and but not like...
The trick is you gotta skin them and gut them, and then you gotta take the hindquarters. Hold on, you gotta take the hindquarters of the squirrel and rabbits, and you gotta put them in a bowl of ice water and leave them in the refrigerator overnight. That pulls all the gamey nest out. I mean, Beaver knows what I'm talking about. He's from Tennessee.
Do you think squirrels are like monkeys? Because they're so fucking close to Yeah, but they're like monkey rats.
That's all they are.
Yeah, they're tree rats, but they're so good at what they do. Aren't they just impressive creatures?
Like fucking fried chicken, like in a cast iron skillet, some Crisco and shit like that, or some oil. Dude, it tastes like fucking fried chicken.
Probably.
It's good. Actually survive on rabbit because it's pretty lean and a little not enough fat in your diet, you can actually die.
Oh, it's just a supplement. I see.
Escape from this little punch in the eye. No, mama, the search still continues. John, you know what the Taliban or Al Qaeda used to do? They would take the sound of 100,000 rabbits being murdered, squeezing them to death, and then they would put them in big speakers, and they would put them in the fucking cell, and they throw you in the cell, and they leave you there for 24 hours, and they would blast the speakers like 10,000 watts with the sound of like 100,000 rabbits being murdered.
Mm.
It's hurting your life. And imagine 10,000 watts just pumping speakers into this concrete fucking room where they're just fucking torturing you. And Al Qaeda said any U.S. service member that was captured, they said they would tell them everything after 24 hours.
So you believe that squirrels are smarter than rabbits, correct? And you believe that there would be ways to actually confirm based on certain metrics that a squirrel is smarter than a rabbit scientifically. Trainability, a logic, all types of
Intellect of an animal is the trainability. How many rabbits have you owned? Bunch.
yeah.
We own. I've never owned any squirrels. Okay, there you go.
Can you really own a squirrel though? No one can really own a squirrel.
Yeah, a tree either.
Squirrels have a dignity. You can't own a squirrel. They will always be free.
Squirts the water out. Shits it out. Squirrels can hide nuts and remember where they are. Like, yeah, like trainability. You know, it's bonobos and then it's ravens after that. They're the second most intelligent animal other than humans. I thought you said black people were third. Oh, of course they are. What the fuck? No, I said bonobos. Beaver, wasn't that sufficient?
Do you know what the difference between hypnosis and suggestion is?
Those are racist.
It's a trick question. There is no difference. There's no difference between hypnosis. It's the same thing, yeah.
I didn't say it, Beam. He did. I don't appreciate that racism. I heard that hypnosis was invented in the 11th century.
Well, all I can say is, Beaver, if you think they
Actually teach you that you should make like wrong statements to somebody, and then they'll actually correct it, and then they'll give you more information that way. Fucking YouTube pays a shitload for monetization, and then John will just like crash out about how shitty monetization is and how he doesn't make any money, and he'll give you all the information that you need.
I would call that like anyways, I was trying to make the point about Dave Matthews Band and Beaver's PTR about the Eternal Fire Dancer or whatever, because like that's the actual secret in all these esoteric occult books.
Said he was about to do Beaver Watch.
Essentially, a very nice compliment would be to say to somebody, "You are the eternal dancer." And then you might have a little enlightenment and wisdom and say, "What does he mean, eternal dancer?"
Beam is my fire dancer.
Ooh. Shaking that blob, that lard. Just kidding, Bima. You're beautiful. Even especially in an ASMR way. Yeah, let me see a photo. PTR, please. Let's check it out, Rich. Let's see what she looks like.
Shot of herself, and it was like her nose or something. Go ahead. Got it. You don't got it. It was her nose. Actually, I think I deleted it. But it was a like close up of her nose, but she didn't realize if you double clicked on the photo, it showed and stuff.
Gut gate. We got a gut gate. We got a gut gate. Ooh. Boogergate has reversed into Gutgate from the accuser. Thanks, Rich. I'm gonna cash app you for this little Gutgate here.
Think about that later, Alistair.
Oh man, Gutgate. What was her nose like? Did she have like a ton of blackheads or something? Like,
Look at your nose.
is it a pepperoni nose or is it like a little more petite?
I mean, if you like Ashkenazi girls or Italian Greek girls.
Wait, I thought she was black. I always thought you were Rachel Dolezal.
guys want to see me? I'll show you. Beaver, can I do it? Sure.
This is Bima, your ASMR Clubhouse queen, bringing you the latest content from a dysfunctional clubhouse.
I'll do it, but Rich is going to take a screenshot of it. Here. I deleted the last. Like deleted it just like and you're gonna be like 5 seconds later. Let me take a screenshot of that. Why did you delete me? No, I honestly just looked through my photos and I don't have it. I had to explain it to my wife because my wife was like, "What are all these random photos?" And I was like, "Oh, these are people on Clubhouse I'm fuck with." And she's like, "Whatever." She thinks I'm fucking retarded.
Go ahead. Let's check out the photo. Bima, go ahead, post it so I can run it through a Grok AI generator and add some funny stuff to it.
Yeah, of course I did, Beaver. Her dad really, really liked me. He's no longer with us, but he passed away. He was an amazing dude. And he didn't speak like perfect English and shit, but we could have like basic conversations, which is kind of cool. Oh shit! The man without a country, the man without a flag, and the man without a currency, Samoa.
Oh, Clubhouse is a fake lawyer, Dr. Esquire here. Come on up, Samoa. You know everything, Samoa.
So the only U.S. territory born without U.S. passports, you have to apply.
Are you talking about Enchilism? Are you kidding? Those people live in a Bitcoin slash like transfer coin utopia. They're totally delusional.
Price you pay so that you could be like a supremacist.
XRP world over Enchilism.
Like you can ban people that are not Samoan from owning any land there, right? I feel they're not a U.S. territory, are they? I mean, they were, but they're not. 1890 to 1948. And they're not. Yeah, and they regret it too. To this day, just like Puerto Rico's been over here. Puerto Rico actually has less freedoms than Samoa. No. I said they're gonna regret it when they actually succeed from the United States. When they succeed.
Isn't Samoa like a snake island?
Retards.
Have you ever Have you ever seen the Samoa bikini like contests they do, like at the hotels and all that shit? Because it's a huge naval base, right? Yeah,
Have the height of with domestic violence in the world.
I bet. Samoa. It's a nice looking island. It's not, it's like a snake island.
Has a worse domestic violence than the Samoa. I mean, Samoa, American Samoa. Yeah, but look at how well their kids are behaved.
If there's ever a nuclear war, they say that American Samoa will be the first little part of America to get nuked. What do you mean? The Chinese, the Russian, it's like a forward operating base. They're gonna take it out immediately. Just it will be gone, evaporated. Strategical?
Or being bombed for any reason.
What are you talking about? It's a huge naval base.
Hawaii.
I was talking about Guam. Fuck. My bad. What's Samoa? I didn't even know that place exists.
It's all over Rich's face. Wait, kind of. So what?
Bima,
The most athletic people ever.
Bima, we're waiting for this PTR update.
It sounds like the Tongans.
Oh, you got cold feet? All right.
Rich, I'm gonna worry about you taking screenshots and then doing it. There's a Bigfoot 8. Shit. Portland. Not these NFL players.
Bima, did you have a better today? Did you have a better today than yesterday? You said you had some serious shit go down on yesterday. Life choices.
Majority of them are around that shit, bro. Yeah, 6 months on, 6 months off.
Samoa, do you think you're a highly annoying person?
Yeah.
Damn, you confirm it. You are a hap. Wow. Very, very rare. Do you think you're more of a hap or less than a hap than Samoa? More? You know, I want to say Monica is such a kiss ass and so insincere because in Lou Fax Room, I was making fun of a chick who was like, do journalists like look into the news and try to uncover corruption? And I was like, yeah, it's called the Pentagon Papers, baby. Daniel Ellsberg. And then Monica's like, Mr. Kitover, please, we're having an intellectual and important conversation. Do not interrupt a troll. I was like, oh my God, this is so revoltingly pathetic.
Smo, you think I'm a race baiter?
Bima, do you take 3 dumps in the morning like me every day? Because every morning I find myself consistently dropping 3 loads. Like I know you eat a lot, so like, do you pass everything in the morning?
Not 3 in the morning.
No, I do 3 in the morning. Like if I get up at 10 a.m. by 12 o'clock, I've completely cleaned myself out after 3 dumps.
6 months.
Isn't that amazing? You get it all done in one shot, but for me, I got to keep going back and going back and going back.
Your body's not absorbing what it needs to absorb.
Right? Exactly.
That's probably why. Probably why.
The grossest.
Three in the morning.
Gross. Listen, there are people on this app that don't take shit for 2 to 3 days, bro.
That's horrible.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
I'm lucky I can actually shit 3 times in the morning. There's people that don't shit for 3 days here.
That's the problem, man. Is that
So do we all shit daily in this room?
3 like app?
No. When did who? Someone ran him off?
Somebody doxed him, and then he said he got sick and tired of the app too.
No.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
That's why you haven't seen it. This is like a couple days ago. That's why I was asking if you
Talking about it, he was on last night.
That's the story.
Why do you call him Steiny?
He's a party hat guy now.
My nigga's Steiny.
Oh.
Bro,
I actually don't know.
You've never watched the Nelk Boys? There's a guy named Steiny.
Do you like
Rascals.
Steiny. I know Steiny from the Nelk Boys. He's the Jewish guy on there.
What happened to A-Check? I actually don't know.
Oh, somebody. They got pissed off at him. But somebody doxed him, and then he got pissed off, and he got sick and tired of the app. So last thing I heard that he wasn't coming back.
It's like the same story every day. It's the boy who cried wolf, and he's back. Horrible too. Well, I got it. Anyway, I can't even imitate him.
Steiny, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Nobody fucking cares. Shut the fuck up.
Oh man. He's definitely he's the he is definitely a South Sudanese hap, highly annoying person, or a highly annoying Sudanese.
I just thought about it. No, you're a hack. Me and Samoa are not hack.
No,
Samoa and I are not hacks. That is not no.
Beaver, go into your message or your invites and click on it, and then search his name A-Check and see when's the last time he was on. If it doesn't have any time next to it, it's been more than like a couple days.
I already did, and it's got nothing.
Yeah, it's got nothing. That means he's been off for a couple days. Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes it'll show like 68 hours or something. I think it's more than 3 days. Horrible, horrible. It's terrible that he's gone.
John, what do you have in your refrigerator right now?
A bunch of healthy fucking bullshit.
That's garbage. He does not eat healthy. John, what do you have in your refrigerator? Go take us a screenshot of your refrigerator, dirty boy. I think your refrigerator is dirty. You sound like
This is what.
John,
like the fridge. I know.
Pick for pick. Pick for pick.
Not fucking crashing out. He's like, "Hi everyone, my name's John Kitover, and
Yeah.
I think that marijuana should come to Chicago." And I'm like, "Holy, who is this?"
Right now.
You want to put 2 fingers in it? John will put 2 fingers in it.
PTR, PTR.
Beer, fruits, and vegetables.
Okay, I'll say that I'm impressed. It's not clean, but
Blueberries, strawberries, yogurt, oranges, barbecue sauce, mayonnaise, pickle relish, mustard, salad dressing, and Miller High Life.
yeah, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
All right, let's see PTR now. Let's see your PTR now. When you hear Bima speaking, do you think she's 185 plus? Because like sometimes I hear the glottal throat come out.
The big girl.
Oh no! Wait, sorry. She confirmed that she's over 200.
my sister, she does that when we laugh, we get together and we do we call it the fat girl laugh, and it is so funny because it really you really can make a fat girl laugh, and there is a difference. There is the fat laugh, and there is the pretty girl laugh, and that fat girl.
Oh man.
You gotta tilt your neck a certain way, and you gotta pull it in real. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't suffocate.
You gotta pull the neck inward, and you gotta put your head down, and you gotta jump. You gotta do a whole body thing to really get it in there.
Hold on, I'm trying to upload.
But I'd like to see some vegetables, John, and you do have to clean out. Yeah. Okay. I like the fingers.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing the peace sign, then I was like, no, I'll do this like I'm gonna finger you sign.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were thinking.
Here's a photo of a girl who looks similar to Bima. Bima's a little bigger in the stomach.
Got it.
That's accurate, right, Bima? A little heavier in the tummy.
Well, no. I've been losing weight.
No.
Oh, are you on the peptides?
Ozempic. Bima, what's your Bima? Don't lie. What's your honest weight?
No, I'm not telling.
Yes, to 230.
Because it's too much.
What's your short too? You're like 5'6".
Shorter than that.
5'4". She good 250. Paycheck is not coming.
Well, I saw a documentary about South Sudan, and it's like one of the most corrupt places on the planet, even according to George Clooney. So whoever Acek is, like, he's not telling us the whole story. Hello?
Yeah, I think he
Oh, Adam, come up on stage. I think weren't you the one that was telling me about A-Check getting run off that the docks and shit?
John, you wouldn't date a fat girl like me and then
Nope. Oh, no.
and then we could do yoga together and we could lose weight. You wouldn't support me in my weight loss journey?
No, unfortunately, no. I would never support an obese girl on her weight loss journey on my time and in our relationship. That would be
Like steady.
It's not true. I mean, I have, banged porkers, obviously, like hogs and honeys, and every time you do it, you're like, what was I thinking? This is like such a waste of time. Like they can't even move their body. So it's like having sex with basically like a big giant blob of like bread that is immovable. It's so unpleasing that like you can't actually move rhythmically and you just lay there like a beached whale. There's nothing more disappointing than a fat chick who can't fuck because her physical mobility restricts, any kind of movement.
So everything, I mean, like, there's no connection.
There's only two girls that I won't fuck, and that's autistic women and fat girls.
That's too bad. And I'm not sure, like, how fat these women are.
I can't stand autistic women more than I can't stand fat women, though. Autistic women are the fucking worst.
Do you think I'm autistic?
No, they're like fucking human robots.
Like my friend and his wife set me up with like their best friend, and I banged her, and she just like laid there, and I'm just like, yeah, this relationship can't go anywhere because like you can only lay there. Sorry, but like movement. Oh, it's called like the natural law of the universe. Like, all objects once in motion, like stay in motion, opposite equal. It's just physics. Like, if you are so like, this is why I actually think Dr. Adams is probably the funniest person on the app because like he roasts big back, flat back. Yeah, like his rhetoric, his comedy to me is like gold, and I don't want to engage.
Shallow and you're disgusting. If a woman is going to have to take up with your insane mental illness, okay,
Mhm.
like you clearly have mental illness.
But not obesity. Let's clarify. I don't have obesity. Like, let's clarify. Even if I have a mental illness, a diagnosed mental illness, I don't suffer from obesity. That means I don't. Close, I guess. I'm close.
It's just,
I think we struck a nerve. I think we struck a nerve.
and then
It's like hitting a vein in an oil field or something.
issues that a woman would have to overlook to even tolerate being in
Hmm.
the same room as you for more than an hour
Hmm.
is something that you should really consider
Hmm.
adding to your acceptable forms of women that you're going to be interested in. Because I mean, like, if those are the type of women that are going to tolerate you, let me ask you, what is your mental illness diagnosis?
Well, it's not obesity. And so what I'm trying to say is like if you are so obese and all you can do is lay there but you can't actually ride, and that means squatting. And let's say you are obese but you can squat, but that stomach is so like rippled and obese that like when I see that cannonball stomach of fucking fat and blob, and it's so unattractive, but even if you can squat, which you probably can't, I'm not saying you specifically, I'm saying all fat women. Anyways, this is a very sensitive topic because it borderline like, abusive like speech against obese people. So in summation, she asked me, I have a diagnosed mental health disorder, and I would just rather like
Your mental illness diagnosis is.
I'm telling you, it's in the DSM. It's called not obese. It's in subsection 75 AD 436256 in the DSMV 2027. You can pick it up at Barnes and Nobles. Look it up. It's a new diagnostic called not obese, but has a diagnosed mental disorder. It's in the DSM.
Have you heard of the phrase TOFI?
No.
TOFI stands for thin on the outside, fat on the inside.
Mhm.
And it's basically where you can have two people standing next to each other. Okay, one physically where you have the the fat on the outside, right? There could be a person that is perceivably thin, but they could have fatty liver disease, metabolic dysfunction, worse than the person who visibly has extra fat around the gut, right? TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. John, are you a
Well,
TOFI?
you know what an FUPA is, right? A FUPA?
Stop deflecting. Stop
It's not a deflection. All right.
going with you.
Well, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean, but I want you to know what I mean when I say a FUPA.
I don't see a woman tolerating.
I just want to tell you guys. Okay, Bima, hold on. I just want to explain to you guys. Listen, this is the pro tip. I know it's distracting.
An hour.
If you mix half Gatorade and half water, it tastes like fruit punch fucking Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And it's good for you.
It dilutes it. Did you see that they got rid of the processed colors? Kennedy got Gatorade to do the biggest like change out in Gatorade history. Oh my God! I check alert!
Fat white
I check alert!
White girls that love black guys who have big fupas. Stop.
I check alert!
Listen, I love black guys and I wasn't fat. Okay, so fuck you.
Wait, I just want to ask a question. Why does it make white men so insecure?
Oh, we don't care if you steal all the fat white girls. We love that. Listen, because if I'm single and in the bar, I don't have to worry about the fat white girls coming over and trying to flirt with me.
Standing under the summer sun.
All you want. We only have an issue when you take the hot ones. You're not a professional athlete. And it's only professional athletes and like wealthy black girls steal the hot fucking white girls. Yeah, it is. Like your average good black guy isn't stealing fucking hotties. They're stealing fucking divas. And we're totally fine with that. Like, have them all.
First of all, okay.
No, you're not. Can I see it?
Yeah, okay.
No, you're not. You're like a 3 at best on your good day.
That's the thing.
Black guys, you're like a fuck. Well, okay, wait, like that.
I've never had a problem getting any guys out of the never in my life.
Big bag. Yeah. Now can we run that back? Big bag. Yeah, my bag is loaded up with snacks and different food. Queens and David, honey shirt, my big bag. Big bag. If you go to a college campus, right, white girls in this generation and in the past generation are very in line with any black guy in that bubble. So like during university game.
Oh, you're talking about like wealthy black guys from like the woodlands and like wealthy athletes. Yeah.
Yes.
Wealthy Nigerian black guys. Yeah, they like this.
Oh, I see.
White girls have perspective. They're not going for FBAs, like.
But it's not necessary.
Ghetto.
I'm FBA.
Yeah, but you're a fucking suburb black.
You know, but there's
yeah, you drive like a fucking Lexus. Like you get this opportunity to drive a Lexus. Like a fucking Atlanta black. You're like, like those are okay. Like, you might have a fighting chance, but somebody for like the guys from Decatur and Bankhead or Bankhead or something like that. Those guys are fucking fat white girls.
Yeah, you're not listening to the wait. That's why you need beamers like that.
You're talking about the newest generation.
No, what I'm saying to you, there was the time white self-esteem was built off of that they were better than black people. They were better than women. They were better than Hispanic. Okay, fine. It's okay. It's okay. Let's just deal with that, right? Okay, fine. So from that perspective, there was a social climate.
Do you waspy whites or do you do like culture guys? Other part whites.
Bro, let's just have a discussion.
I know, man. We're having a discussion.
Okay, well, if I make a point, I can make a point. Well, not wrong with you. But what I'm thinking, so there was a separation. They even created laws in America to stop that, what they call interracial relationships. My point is, now that perception that white people were anything other than the majority, now that has been removed from our society, right? Hence, that's why you have MAGA, right? MAGA are frustrated white men who feel that the country that they were told was theirs has been taken from them, right? And I'm just going to get it back. Hence, make it completely. My point is that today, now that illusion exists, if you have a poor black person and a poor white person,
Black.
going to have a relationship.
I got
it. Have a middle. Wait. Let me finish. If you have a middle class black person, black guy, and you have a middle class white girl, and they in the same proximity, they're going to connect. It goes all the way up, and it goes all the way down in the subdivisions. So it's not like a guy like me. I'm gonna pick the white girl with the biggest booty, the prettiest face, and the biggest tits, right? Because I can do that.
You're a suburbs black. You're not picking Beamas.
I'm not gonna connect.
You're not.
Girl.
You're not picking Beamas though. You're not picking like trashy fucking fat white girls.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, those
Fuck
girls.
you, Rick. I'm not trashy.
Okay. You said that you used to hang out with like gang donors and shit like that. You used to fucking hang out with like dope boys.
That's
and shit.
because that's where I grew up.
Yeah, where you grew up. Yeah, trashy. I agree.
So.
He's talking about like affluency. You lived in the suburbs and you drew a fucking Mercedes fucking GLE. You drew a GLE and you had to connect. He'd be interesting. But like you're lower on the socioeconomic ladder. LX fucking Lexus, that's why.
Entertaining.
Going to right? Like we don't have any.
Yeah, I know. I agree. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about backbone sharks. Don't forget.
I would say your argument is stronger.
I said fat, trashy, mud shark white girls.
But you're saying it like whatever.
What? It's true.
I wasn't always fat, asshole.
Yeah, I'm friends with a bunch of yuppie black guys and shit who come from affluent households. They're not banging fucking fat white girls. That was our point.
Not. I mean, unless you're pretty sure they're cute face.
Yeah. I mean, you might smash it, but you're not marrying her. You're marrying the fucking platinum blonde who's from fucking Olympus or something.
You're gonna marry, if you're in the game, you're gonna marry trophy black.
Exactly. That's why I say happy leaves and happy black.
So someone you're
fucking black from like the woodlands, then you're gonna marry a fucking pretty white girl. That was the whole point. Okay, Asian, fucking Hispanic, whatever. You're gonna buy a dime piece. That's what you're buying.
You're going to marry someone intellectually idealized.
No. Yeah, they don't give a shit about intellect. Nobody does. No man truly does. If he does,
what I'm saying is, if you have a girl with himself, sell the game up versus you going to do it.
Oh yeah. I just meant like men necessarily don't give a fuck if a woman is out there. Shit, they're gonna buy this white girl.
Right? I'm just saying, the point is saying intellectually, a girl who things around like they say.
Oh, I'm not saying that the playing field hasn't been even. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying simply that fat, white, trashy mudshard girls go. I'm glad that there's ghetto black guys that see some Rasputia looking fucking white girl and it's like, yeah, I'm glad that when you're in the club, the last thing you want is the fatty coming over and going, hey, what's your name? And you're like, Jesus fucking right. That's the ice maker. And PCR, okay? Look at my PCR, all right? You show me the equivalent. I want you to find any other man that has your jeans on and hat like that without a shirt. Do not find anything that's better than that. That's no, that's that. You cannot no right there. Like some guys have I'm not fucking knocking it. I'm just saying, like, there's plenty of fucking guys in any fucking groups. The only one that's not attractive, even if they have that same body, would be like Asian men, like fucking South Asians and East Asians. They can have that same body, but they're still not attractive. I'm just saying, though, a fucking Chinese guy can have the same fucking body and shit.
Many people have very small penises. This is hard. They're very small.
I'm white and I have 9 3/4 inches, so I don't let the blacks try to do the I got a big dick, you got a small white dick. It's like, no, I got a 10-inch dick, well, almost 10 inches, but like so that shit doesn't bother me.
Okay, that's good. Not on you, but on the girl. See, now this is another thing. There's another very sophisticated way of racism that is expressed as fetishizing, right? So you have a lot of these white girls, and they're very predatory.
Bro, I used to have a black ex that used to have me call her fucking slave. She wanted it like her fetish was like she got off on the ideal of like saying goodbye to some racist fucking redneck guy, which I'm not. Like fucking like grabbing her and taking her down and banging her. Yeah, I don't. 4 145. This like 15 years ago. Wait, hold on one second. Oh my god, South Carolina. He's a yeoman first class, 9 years in the Navy. I don't hold on. 4 145, 38 double D's, 26 waist, 38 ass.
Well, okay, and she hates black.
Yeah, great house. No, she was married to a black guy and had 2 kids. She fucking gained a bunch of weight. She got up to like fucking almost 200 pounds and shit. And her own fucking husband loved it. And then she got back to like 140, 150 and like got in real good shape. Even though she built like a fucking shit brick house at like 145. And her husband fucking hated it and then started cheating on her because he wanted a girl over 200.
Man knows what he wants, but this is my point.
Yeah,
I want to put.
See, that's it. He was a piece of shit, man.
Okay, I'm not. I
He
didn't.
married some like 300-pound wildebeest after.
Hey man knows what he wants. This is the thing.
Yeah.
So the thing is, a lot of these white girls are very racist, and the thing is that they go and they look, they feel like predators for black men because they know in the relationship dynamic they will always white at some point in a relationship. Like, whenever there's a conflict, they will pull the white girl. They will be quick to call the police. They'll be quick to
yeah, but girls in general are quick to fucking call the police and blame shit on the guy.
I agree.
So, I really hold on. It just really chips my. Hold on. It just. I'm just saying. It chaps. Too much. I didn't do it, but I gotta be honest. It feels good. Okay, listen. Like, I don't know how much I believe of that. I honestly think that's sort of like a victim story. I think it's like some weird shit. I don't see women doing that. I think that there are just good women and bad women. Hold on. There are terrible women. There are terrible women, and there are good women. I could see. Hold on. Wait. Let's have a conversation. Go have a conversation. The point is I don't see it. Okay, well, conversation over.
I don't know. I have to talk kind of low because I'm still up. I have 5 friends, and I heard people in my room because they say, so you're saying you start speaking? You know how they sing like fat men? Demons are real. Like, yeah, they're more adventurous. They're like, yeah, like toss me salad and, you know, give them that cluck 1000. You know what I'm saying? I know, yeah. But, you know, and honestly, people like complain about like hip bones and shit. Like, they don't want skinny. They don't want too skinny with the bones and shit like that. One word, such a word. That's right there. I heard a lot of this, like a white racist type that hates black men to fetishize them. And I think that is more of the construct of trying to come out of a society that had racism. I don't think that that's real fake. I mean, I live in a very, I grew up in a very diverse cities. So interracial relationships were a complete norm. That I've never even heard of that like as a real thing. And so I think sometimes people um sort of yeah, it doesn't mean fetishize. Like how do you know that the person just isn't a bad person? You know, like the Russians around here, the Russian women, they're crazy. They do the same exact thing, but they don't date. You know, they'll date anybody, and they do it to anybody, right? The Russians will date white people, and they're just crazy. They like to call the cops. They like to play their cards. The stupid calling it. They do all the same thing. Running to the police. Yeah, the Russians do it too, but they don't do it to specific. I mean, like just sometimes it's cultural. I mean, I don't know. I just haven't seen it, and I think that it's trash and bullshit, especially when it gets to that extreme where any white person, any white woman that appreciates or likes black men is fetishizing them. It's just like, no, you idiot. Like, you take men and you line them up. Even if they were all white, they could be all the same race. You're going to rate them according to how they look, right? If we're just talking about physicality, right? And they're going to be they're going to have different frames. They're going to have different structures down from to the muscles around their neck, to the way that their hips are, the way that their fingers look, their hands, I mean, like everything, their feet, their legs, the way that they stand, their ass, their structure, I mean everything, their stature. You're gonna look at that and you're gonna rate it, obviously. And yeah, I just see a much more, and it just makes sense that the build is just like with black women. Black women, they have amazing bodies, incompatible to a lot of white women. No, it's the truth. White women don't have asses. White women don't have it. Like, they have to get breast implants. You ever hear of black women getting breast implants? Like, come on. Like, black women just have the most incredible bodies. And yeah, just no, it's the same. It's just excellent proportion, amazing like lips. White women want everything that the black women have.
Black women have saggy fucking titties that look like a bunch of rocks in a tube sock.
What?
Black women have fucking saggy fucking titties that look like big fucking tube socks filled with fucking rocks where they hang down past their fucking gut. And when they use push-up bras, yeah, they look attractive. And then they take their fucking bras off and their fucking titties hang down past their guts. It's fucking disgusting.
That's some women.
Saggy fucking titties.
Yeah, and how many black?
You want like freaking titties and shit? You go with white girls and Asians. All I was trying to say to that fucking piece of shit was I hate that fucking black people try to fucking gatekeep shit and say, oh, black people put fucking raisins in the fucking potato salad, and they don't know how to fucking use seasoning. And I just fucking hate that gatekeeping shit. Oh, the white boy, he fucking cussed his mama out, and they never do that in my black household. And they always gatekeep the shit like black people are the only fucking people that do this shit. Like the black man invented the fucking light bulb and the fucking air conditioning, and it's like you didn't invent any of that shit. Firstly, and then you're gatekeeping the idea that fucking like all these white kids are just like, yeah, fuck you, mom, you fucking whore. And the whole my black mom would fucking kill me. And it's like, no, like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, I grew up in the same fucking community where my mom would drag me in the fucking bathroom at IGA and beat the fucking shit out of me if I said fuck you to her. Or even if I was just fucking loud. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? All this fucking gatekeeping only people do. White people are so much fucking, they don't use no fucking spice. And it's like, fucking KFC was invented by a fucking white guy. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, Texas Longhorn or Texas fucking Roadhouse is from Louisville, Kentucky. Long John Silver is from Louisville, fucking Kentucky. Like, all of your great fucking Southern food comes from, like, fucking Georgia, Alabama, and fucking most of it was created, like, all the fucking Cajun food was created by fucking white people and fucking Cajuns. Like, these are all fucking half white people or white people. I just hate the fucking gatekeeping that only black people do this shit. Like, only black people like fucking fried chicken or know how to cook good fried chicken. It's like, you're a motherfucking liar. Like, some of the top Michelin restaurants in the world that make fried chicken.
Did somebody say Michelin?
Yeah, Michelin fucking Jew.
I recently opened up a Michelin restaurant, not to be confused with Michelin rated. It turns out that the public can't tell the difference, and everybody loves Michelin. I serve matzo balls and corned beef sandwiches. Rabono Shalom. We got real big barreled pickles.
The black people are the only ones that know how to cook bar. It's like fucking brisket is Jewish.
Mmm.
Fucking stupid. Fried chicken came from fucking Scotland. You guys did fucking fried chicken. Jesus Christ. Just fucking all the gatekeeping shit. White people fucking raisins in the fucking potato town.
You know, the thing is, though, without you listening, a black person isn't a black person. Just in the same way that a gay person isn't gay without a straight person, or a woman isn't a woman without a man. It requires the opposite, and you are the formula, that you're criticizing. So,
Shit, like Europeans, like that fucking kid that plays fucking Spider Man, and he's like, well, "What do you guys have in fucking the United States? Is good American?" And they're like hamburgers and hot dogs, and he's like, "Hamburgers are from Hamburg." It's like, no, those were fucking steaks. They were put on fucking bread, and they weren't actually fucking burgers. The first place that invented fucking burgers was in fucking Connecticut, where they ground up a beef patty and then put it in a charbroil, and then invented the first fucking cheeseburger. Like, the first fucking hamburger came from Connecticut. Fuck yourself. French fries. They're like, oh, they make French fries. Like, the fries that you get in fucking Belgium and France are not the same as fucking French fries. They're big fucking like potato wedges, fucking fucking long fucking elongated fucking potato wedges. Those are not French fries. Comes from the fucking Americas because they only had Neapolitan fucking pizza in Italy, and Italian immigrants came to the United States and fucking invented the first actual what we consider pizza today. And on top of that, the fucking tomatoes come from the fucking Andes Mountains. So you can't get more fucking American than fucking pasta. Holy shit. Pasta's Chinese. Pizza's fucking American. Hamburgers are Americans. Hot dogs, they had fucking Frankfurters, and then they came over here.
kosher. Don't forget kosher dogs. Kosher.
And they invented the fucking hot dog in the United States. Hot dogs did not exist in fucking Germany. Fucking Frankfurters. Fucking plate with hot fucking potato salad and fucking brown mustard with no bread.
Mm-hmm.
All the fucking.
Mm. Well, there's a lot of annoying people out there, and I would consider you a highly annoying person to the highest degree possible. And as a hap,
Best friend on the staff, Kitover.
Listen, I was just saying that, Clubhouse is an experience, a happening, and basically the happening is the highly annoying person. And I think that's really what, some of the worst people on here are. Like Mikhail, I was just in Cynic Mikhail's room. I think he kicked me to the goo 5 times before he eventually kicked me from the room. Yeah, yeah. And so, like, he really thinks that there's gonna be, anyways, he's delusional and he wants a world war to, like, make his extremely horrible, boring life more exciting. And anyways, if you I was gonna anyways, if you've have you ever read Muhammad's Medina Constitution? So in that constitution, they declare in the Ummah that they are a separate political body from the world. And all kinds of other shit about blood money and really nothing about fairness. Everything which is just like insane in terms of like Muhammad being the king and like, the new boss. And like they just think it's cool. They're just like, yeah, like these are the rules, these are the laws of the Ummah. And I'm just like, you really think it's fair? And they're just like, absolutely. And you're like, doesn't sound very fair. So
Started in fucking San Diego, which originally came from fajitas from fucking Tijuana, but then migrated over to fucking a surf shop.
fajitas.
Fucking burrito in the 1950s. And it was a surf shop made by a fucking white guy who invented the fucking first burrito. So the next fucking Mexican that tells you that you're not allowed to eat fucking Mexican food, you can't eat burritos because it's Mexican culture food and you're appropriating their culture, tell her, hey, guess what? San Diego and it was invented by a white surfer. What fucking surf shop?
Well, years ago, there was a Jewish girl on here who kept screaming at me every day, telling me to stop culturally appropriating her religion. And like that was really fun. I don't know who that young girl was, but I really enjoyed being accused of culturally appropriating Judaism. I thought that was hilarious. No, it was some Jewish chick, but I thought it was funny as hell. I was like,
Trash out the black stew on Steppy. And they're like,
Steppy.
530-pound fucking half black guy, half Asian, like fucking retards.
Man, Steppy, he's a challenge to listen to sometimes.
Or another fucking thing that, or a fucking thing that agitates the fuck out of me. It's like the Greeks, the Egyptians, the fucking Vikings. Like all these people had fucking dreadlocks. Like you weren't the first motherfuckers, and then they're like, "Oh, well, we invented fucking twisted hair," and it's like, "No, the fuck you didn't." Like there's been cultures for fucking thousands of years that had fucking braided fucking hairs. It's literally called a fucking Dutch braid, like you fucking retards.
So do you know who the Asian guy is on here? Fucking Grim. Yeah. So yesterday he had a
Illegitimate children out of wedlock.
so he had a room open yesterday called our black supremacists. No, I didn't know that.
He's ever been with a black girl, and he's like, "Why do you ask?" And Pepe's like, "Well, I got information from somebody that knows stuff about you, that you have a black child, a half black child," and then he conceded that he does. He confessed that he does,
Mhm.
and then we found out that he actually has two illegitimate black kids out of wedlock.
Yeah, he said that he paid to sleep with a black prostitute. I assume that's like one of his baby mamas that he got knocked up. Um, and he knows it's his because of the physiognomy of his face. Like he can see, yeah, like he has like a beaker head. Have you ever looked at his PTR? He's got like a beaker head. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, he had a room open called like, I didn't know that blacks are supremacists or something like that. And man, these black chicks came in and they were like, we don't believe Asians should come to this country. We hate Asians, and you should have your own separate society where you work for us. And I was like, damn. I was like, fucking the title said it all. Hello.
Wait, Bima, you've never seen like the big fucking buff white dude that's a cowboy guy that dances on TikTok and shit?
No, I was on the phone. I didn't hear anything you guys were talking about.
The guy that dances with his t-shirt off and shit. I've seen him on fucking TikTok. He like dances around. He's got like fucking 10 million followers. You never seen him? I would say as a straight man, I would say that the white guy in those TikToks is more attractive than the black guy in your PTR. Yeah, he is.
Got it.
But what was funny about Grimm today is
He's like real tan and shit.
That's what we're gonna talk about real quick.
Okay. What?
Hear ye.
Point of order.
Thank you. I'm not gonna lie, your PTR needs to be changed for reasons I won't go into at the moment.
Who, me?
No, Alistair Crowley's.
Why? It's turning you on seeing my fingers like that?
Okay, so listen, this is Tom Bilyeu's.
Her sloppy fat pussy's getting wet. Think of that. Stop.
Okay, let me just give you a close-up of...
Published this video. What is this? He did this yesterday? Okay. So this is his claim. So his claim is, he says, Tom Bilyeu's making it, he says, America is at a danger point where inequality has become intolerable, and a new shock from the Middle East instability could push the country into calamity. The only real alternatives are structural reform or mass violence. And so basically, he gets more explicit later in the video, and he says, balance the budget or there will be blood. Now, this is interesting. He says he's going to prove his case. And this is what he uses to prove his case. First, he starts out with talking about how a guy, a warehouse worker, who makes about $37,000 a year, his name is Kamal Abdul Karim,
and we know that he's an actual citizen.
Why does he think that's funny?
Because he's got a far out name.
Okay. So why did you have his PTR as your? Don't do that.
Who, Grimm?
Posting Grimm's photo as your photo.
Because, yeah, isn't that Beaker? Isn't that the cartoon Beaker character?
No, change that.
All right.
Delete it.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna find something else. Let me get Hood here with. Look at this. I finally fucking figured something out. That Melania Trump is an Illuminati priestess.
Topic. I'm centering myself.
Oh,
first of all,
it's that centering sounded a little shaky there.
Steal the spotlight here. So he starts off by talking about this guy Krim. There's a warehouse worker. He's making $37,000 a year. $2,000 a month for rent, and he allegedly burned down an entire facility, and he posted it because he thought that the public was going to sympathize with him, and he then connected that to Luigi Mangione, who obviously received an incredible public sympathy, amassing tens of thousands of donors contributing to however much in a defense fund for himself. And there was like some weird poll that 50% of American college students sympathize more with Mangione than they do with the victim. Okay, so that is his this is Bilyeu's opening evidence that vigilante style violence is going to become morally normalized in the country. So then he says He goes on to say that the underlying condition is extreme inequality. And he argues that worker productivity since 1979 has grown 80%, while wages have grown only about 29%.
Say his name, Brian Thompson. Say his name, Brian Thompson.
He compares today's wealth to the Gilded Age. Have you guys heard of the Gini coefficient?
Yeah.
He's coefficient reached 0.87 in 1890, and today, guess what the Gini coefficient is? If it was 0.87 in 1890.
Hold on. Let me call my mom Jeannie and find out what she wants to scream at us. Please hold.
Actually, I would put a hold on that. I would hold this room up for that if you could get your mother on the phone.
The Gini coefficient? What kind of fucking bullshit is that?
His mom is a very nice lady.
Yeah. I know, and that's why I would love to hear it. So listen,
When John was picking his mom up when she flew in, he was on the phone, and I said hi to her. She's all nice.
I would love to talk to her, but listen, the Gini
He will
coefficient
call her.
is the number used to measure how unequal something is distributed, usually income or wealth. Okay, and so the higher the Gini coefficient, the more unequal the distribution. Okay, and that comes from something called the Lorentz curve, but we could get into that later.
So what? Wait, hold on 1 second. What you're saying is buy off the mob with more fake money instead of enforce laws and give punitive responses. Instead, you're saying that we should just buy them off, correct? Because you're weak and pathetic.
Meaning, if you have to reduce whatever you have to reduce, just balance it. Okay, so that, and I'll get into why he gets there. Okay, so what he's saying is, Billy's second point was that we are that the reason that we're becoming. Remember the claim? Does everybody remember the claim? What he's saying? Billy is saying that America is at a dangerous point where the economy has become intolerable. The instability that's going on with the attack in Iran, it's going to could potentially call for like utter calamity in the streets of the United States where results of violence, and it's going to get worse. Wayne's example, the warehouse worker, Gionish, and other things. So this is his plan, and so now he explains the underlying is inequality. So he said that he argues that worker productivity since 1979 has grown 80%. Okay, so think about that. And wages are almost 30%. And he says it's efficient. I'll just tell you. It was 0.87. And today it's 0.86. Okay. So it says the top 1% now hold as much wealth as the bottom 90%. And that 10% of Americans own 93% of all stocks and financial assets. 10% of Americans, let me repeat that. 10% of Americans, 90% of all stocks and financial assets in the United States, and that 1%, the top 1% of the United States holds as much wealth as the bottom 90%. Okay, so do you understand what we're trying to expose the social being this the outside of the social
The polar bears have moved on. The walrus need to return to the sea, and some take years now to do so. Bullshit. Yes, it flashes on the like every guy looks at the guy and goes, fuck, man, I look like that dude.
Natural his walking away where he's so big that now he's on board.
But everything
Skinny town. You can say There's a few other things Jesus said also that inequality isn't enough alone, right? It's not enough to cause it. The second is going to be how things are unaffordable and the inflation-driven unaffordability. So he is saying that inequality isn't going to cause people to become violent or shoot CEOs. He's saying that we also need inflation, and this is also part of the calamity ingredients or recipe for what he's claiming could possibly be the future.
What the fuck are you talking about? That dude looks like a Delta Force operator.
Saying that inflation created the affordability crisis, and that it's not the rich, but it's the politicians and the thinkers that are running deficit and printing the money, as Alistair always points out. So he's saying that deficits are money printing, and then the money printing is raising the prices, and then assets rise. Okay, so since the wealthy own the assets, inflation is going to work that that gap between the classes. Okay, so the other thing he's saying is that most Americans are right now very much basically being financially squeezed. He says that for 6 straight years through 2025, out of 80% of American consumers failed to keep up with
Seconds and a half. John's actually still there. No, I bet he walked away from his phone.
Who do you care? Why does it care?
John, John's still there. I really thought John got up and just walked the fuck off.
Wait, I'm also very curious. Why did you put the picture of Grim on your PTR?
Because I've been going to his rooms for like 2 days, and today he kicked 2 of my profiles today. And it's like, I don't want to be mean or roast people, but like, obviously some people are not like the coolest people in the world. Well, whatever it is, he does it for.
He looks spontaneous.
Anyways, he does a fine job. He does a.
It's not nice to do that, John. No, and don't do it again, John. Or
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm just saying, like, sorry.
The count or one of the other 75.
I'm trying to make a statement. I'm just saying he puts together fine rooms, and when I enjoy the rooms in the sense that sometimes he lets it get crazy, and like, I know that's what the amazing. No, he kicked me twice, but he sits there and listens to the dumbest shit. Anyways, whatever. It's just Clown House. Hello.
Would you rather prefer Geo?
Oh, Gio's something else. He's another schedule.
Two of them together. It was like double fuckery.
Okay, so getting back. Okay.
Isn't it amazing that he could be like an incel, but he has 2 illegitimate biracial children? It's kind of amazing. Grim. He's got a baby with a. He paid a prostitute. Yeah.
Stop. So what? Leave the fucking dude alone. He's not here, and you're talking about his kids. What's wrong with you?
All right. Well, let's try. Let's try to get back to what you were talking about, which was.
It's gonna happen when they run.
Okay.
What do you mean? What's going to happen to it?
We're talking about.
We'll probably no. Probably go back to war.
So, 6 straight years. This is another argument. The bottom 80% of the American consumer failed to keep up with inflation. There's different types of inflation. There's push costs. There's core. What is the other one?
The money supply.
3 types of inflation, John.
You know how many senses are there in the human body?
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. I'll just explain. So it's for housing, grocery, energy, healthcare. Okay, and then he uses the example of the.
Oh, they threw healthcare in there. Notice that little quick slip in there. A government-funded healthcare program.
listen, a full-time person is making $18 an hour. They're taking home $37K. They're paying $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment. That's about 65% of take-home pay just on rent.
Yeah, crazy.
Affordability proof, right? That his point. Okay, so now next.
That person would qualify for low-income housing.
Explanation is a reason for why unfairness turns.
How is it unfair? Shitty housing sucks.
Game style experiment where one person gets $100, offers a split, and the other person often rejects an unfair split, even if it means both get nothing. He uses that to argue that humans will accept self-harm rather than accept obvious unfairness. Okay, because tolerating unfairness breaks cooperation. His point is that when people perceive the system as unfair, they choose destructive responses. The next thing he says, okay, now this is, I'll link the video. These are all stuff that he's talking about, okay? He's talking about that in history, that we had the same mechanism repeatedly. Inequality, affordability, plus a fresh shock produces revolt, okay? Not raise, Shay's rebellion, okay? What happened with the farmers and that whole thing, right? Crushed by debt, taxes, revolted, okay? The homestead conflict, in Chile in 2019, okay? So those are examples to argue that when people are revolting, it's not random. These things are happening when people are financially squeezed, right? Past what they can afford, past their margin. So he's saying now that America has fresh shock, quote, fresh shock, and that's gonna what is going to be triggering the break. So the already existing inequality and the affordability crisis are now merging with the geopolitical shock, right? U.S., Israel, Iran, closure of the Strait, oil spikes, gas prices increase, more inflation. Okay, and he cites that the IMF formula that every 10% oil rise creates a 0.4% rise in inflation, and says oil rose over 70%, implying about a 2.4% added inflation. So his argument here is that this could become, I don't know, America's version of Chile, right? So he talks about what other, the Gilded Age, right? In earlier era where when we had, well, I guess we still have monopolies now, but I don't know. This is all about spending. It's all about the money system. John, you should be all on top of this. So what's America's spending problem, right? It's a spending
It's
problem.
Medicare. It's Medicare, Medicaid, and the military industrial complex, the NDAA, which is 1.25 trillion a year.
So in this video, he's saying that the U.S. already spends per citizen at levels compared to countries like Sweden, France, Germany, and the Netherlands.
What are you doing? Boxing that clitoris or something?
He says countries that sustain higher spending do so with broader taxation, such as VAT, right? VAT, which burdens ordinary consumers too. He argues that increased taxation is therefore either insufficient or aggressive, and that the U.S. already collects about $5 trillion in taxes, but still runs a $2 trillion gap because the budget is about $7 trillion. The gap gets financed through inflation. So, taxing
doesn't get financed with inflation; it creates inflation.
even if we could heavily tax the billionaires, it's not going to fix the chronically unbalanced budget and could damage growth. So now we're talking. Then he invokes the Laffer curve. Do you know what the Laffer curve is, John? LAFF.
So we're in large commercial real estate. Do you think that those people that are investing that kind of money are going to pay increased taxes or no?
In the middle of having a conversation.
No, I'm asking for clear.
Hold on.
I was asking for.
This is not a conversation. This is just Bino talking.
Do you know what the Laffer curve is? LAFFER.
Yeah, I've heard of it before, but I can't define it for you right now.
Okay.
So, John, do you think they're going to pay increased taxes, or do you think they're just going to leave with their money?
Laffer curve is LA.
No, no fucking idea.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh shit, that sounded like a fat girl screaming. Damn, did you hear that? Ooh, hot. I thought it was scary actually.
Just learned something tonight, and now she just wants to fuck flaunt.
We're all learning. If you shut the fuck up.
Bima, have you ever been?
Donnie's a fucking idiot. He's gonna destroy New York.
Bima, have you ever been arrested? Bima, have you ever been arrested for getting into a physical altercation? That's a yes. That's a yes. It's not on the books, but you got arrested though.
Who you ask?
I'm just saying because the way that you yelled right there was, I was like, oh shit, this bitch is a psycho. She's capable of throwing a fist.
So the Laffer curve, I just asked ChatGPT to explain it simply. This is what we got. It's the idea that tax rates and tax revenue do not move in a straight line.
Wait, can you bring Rich back up here, please?
I'm going to test you, so you better fucking listen to this. This is your.
I know, but I need Rich up here. He's my number one supporter. Please bring him back up.
Yes. Okay. So a simple claim is at a 0% tax rate, the government gets no tax money. At a 100% tax rate, the government might also get a little or no tax money because people may stop working, investing, selling, or reporting income if it's 100%, right? So somewhere in between is a tax rate that's going to bring in the most revenue. So this creates a curve. Raising taxes from very low levels can increase revenue. Raising taxes from already high levels can reduce revenue. Okay, so very simple. People sell lemonade. If the tax is 5%, they still want to sell. If the tax is 50%, some people still might sell, but they're going to be less enthusiastic.
Okay, hold on a second, Bima. Getting ahead of yourself.
People may decide, hey, listen, I don't want to fucking sell the lemonade anymore.
Stop reading from ChatGPT for a minute and look at it this way. If we're spending $7 trillion but collecting $5 trillion, and we're all paying, say, a marginal tax rate of 40%, that means we're losing $2 trillion a year and still paying 40%, only taking home 60% or less. So if we doubled the tax rate and it's now at 80% and we only get to keep 20%, but we're spending $5 trillion, what I'm trying to say is the amount that we would spend in addition to the deficit, and if we were to raise budgets based off of the increased taxation rate, there's really no new like GDP output. Like everything is peak, meaning that our cell phones aren't getting better and they're going down to next to nothing prices. I mean, I can buy a very good phone for $30, or I can buy a very good phone for $2,000, but they do the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun. So it's one giant delusion, illusion, and there will be no revolution because your Apple phone doesn't explode on impact. You know, if you were in Cuba in 1964 and you had a hand grenade, that was far more useful than your iPhone today, where you're just hypnotized to look at fat asses all day long. Hello?
Okay, thanks for a bunch of whatever that was. Okay, so
Kind of similar to what you're doing.
so he talks about the Laffer curve, right? Because we can't just tax.
Can you just like define it and then bring up Rich, please?
Of the Laffer curve. Laffer curve, Laffer. You understand now with the explanation I gave, okay? So basically, you raise taxes too much, people are either going to get, hide their income or figure something
No,
else.
they stop working. If you cap them, they literally only work 8 out of 12 months a year.
But you can't just stop working completely because you're gonna have to.
Yeah, you can. You can. If they increase taxation to like super high levels, people just stop working. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to work and not be compensated for your work. It's just logical. Hello?
So in between there, when it doesn't matter, I'm not. Everyone understands the Laffer curve is moving forward. Okay, so Bill Yu is saying that the current debt levels make us and this stability of potential, this violent revolt, more immediate. So for every dollar of new tax revenue since 2019, the federal government added $158 in new spending for every $1. And since 2019, that's crazy. Every country except Japan that spent meaningful time above 130%.
Wait, hold on. People are accusing you of being an anarchist. I just want to correct them. You are actually a member of the Karen party.
Definitely not fucking Karen.
You're not a Karen?
130% debt to GDP.
You got the body. You got the body type of a Karen, and as we just witnessed, you screamed. You were like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." I was like, "Oh shit, that's a Karen in there."
I just want to say something. Listen to that. I've heard all of that before. It's the Bernie Sanders Marxist talking point. Yeah, it sounds good on paper, but it doesn't actually work. I mean, when Karl Marx wrote his book, his Communist Manifesto, he actually thought it would work in the United States. The only reason it didn't work in the United States because the United States had a peaceful middle class at the time. And when you tax it with too much money, like Chile, Pinochet, there's like, I can give you 120 countries where it didn't work. It just doesn't work. Yeah, you can tax a little more, but they're gonna leave. When Greece in 20, I think it was like 2009, they put the tax rate to 75%. So the French, I mean, family, Sarkozy and everything else, they went to Russia. They became Russian citizens. The
I
billionaires.
agree. I would like to hear more warfare.
If you tax the billionaires 100% of all the earnings in the United States, you get $1 trillion a year. That doesn't even make up the cost of the debt of education, where people took out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's say in science, or let's say they did it in, like, I don't know, public health, or let's say they did it in arts or whatever. You still can't make that up in the student thing. And the problem is with those student debts is it's guaranteed by the federal government. So but no federal government has the debt. They're gonna lose the election. Can you imagine a president or a potential president being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna cut Medicare and Social Security"? They would never win. They would lose in the biggest landslide since Reagan defeated that dude. What was his name? In '84, whatever his name was. But like, yeah, Dukakis. No, it wasn't Dukakis. That was Walker Bush. It was the other guy. Yeah. But they would lose in the biggest landslide. No president can. The second you give away entitlements, you cannot take them away.
Yeah, but if you were to just say, we're going to issue you a cash check and we're not going to keep giving it to the providers and we're going to cut the middleman out, like the health insurance provider, you might get people to go with that.
Policy and everything else like that, that's going to put everybody to death.
I know, but it's 2:47 in the morning and we're trying to ask you to be succinct because we want to go to sleep.
Okay, so no, he's not saying that, he's not suggesting that, but this is what he does say. Because he's saying that we have to balance the budget or there's going to be like a violent revolt. So what he's saying is, listen, this is I quote, this is his actual what he said. He says, "So welcome to part 4." This was he separated it into.
Alex, like when you change BTR, it's not cool. It's not funny. It's just annoying.
Why? It's not her lips. It's an AI image, bro. What the fuck?
You see that you think.
Okay, Kasum, come take it easy, you South Sudanese fascist.
He says, well,
Take it easy, Kasum, come.
step crisis of this magnitude was right after World War II. Americans were happy, optimistic, and they were helping much of the world rebuild. GDP grew over 4% annually for nearly 3 decades. We're currently growing roughly 0.5%. And for everyone marching in the streets and campaigning on more tax.
Per year? When was this written, Bima?
This was written yesterday.
Yesterday, did you say the US grew 0.5% GDP? That's not possible.
0.5%, roughly. For
0.5% GDP in one whole year?
Grew at over 4% annually for nearly 3 decades. We're currently growing roughly 0.5%.
I don't think that's true.
Annual.
And
let's fact check that.
That doesn't sound right.
Fact check that. Check to see if our GDP, what our GDP.
I'll go to fact check it while you're going on about it. Yeah.
Thank you. And for everyone marching in the streets and campaigning on more. This is from Tom Bilyeu. We're currently growing, at roughly 0.5%. For everyone marching in the streets and campaigning on more tax, you have to contend with this reality. For every dollar of new tax revenue collected since 2019, the federal government has added 158 in new spending. You can't fill a bathtub with the drain open. Every country except Japan that has spent any meaningful time above 130% debt.
Bima, sorry to cut you off, but it was 2.5%. It's only 0.5% in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so we're roughly we are roughly growing at 0.5% currently right now.
But yeah, you're correct about that. Yes.
Thank you for that correction.
What's the 0.5%?
That's our GDP.
It's the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter from last year was 0.5% growth.
Right, but you're saying over the year it's 0.5?
No, I think it was a technicality, but overall in the year it was 2.5%.
For the past 3 decades, it's grown over 4% annually, and right now we're growing at 0.5%. So that was his point there.
Wait. Right now, what does that mean? Right now?
Currently.
Yeah, I mean like last year.
No, fourth quarter of the last financial year.
Yeah, but wait. Fourth quarter of the last financial year, you just said it's 5%. What is that?
0.5%.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So it's a significant decrease, right? 3.5% decrease.
No. Yeah. Wait. That 0.5%. That is the actual percentage growth, or is it annualized?
No, annually it's 2.5%. Fourth quarter is 0.5%. You know how you have the first, second, third, fourth quarter?
Yeah. What I'm asking is it 0.5% is the actual growth percentage, or is it annualized percentage?
No, it's not annualized. It's actual growth percentage in the fourth quarter. Annually, it's 2.5%.
Are you sure about that?
Well, that's not exactly annual. You have to add up all the 4 quarters.
Right.
And yeah, all the 4 quarters, it's 2.5%.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter, 0.5.
Yeah. Okay. This is different, right? Because if you annualize it, you have to multiply by 4. Anyway, go ahead.
I know, that's why it's 2.5, but the fourth quarter is only 0.5.
Yeah, 2.5 is not the annualized fourth quarter. 2.5 is the total last year.
That is the annual. What are you talking about? You add 4 quarters up, you get the annual quarter.
That is the total yearly percentage growth. Annualized.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's different from annualized fourth quarter growth rate.
Okay, what was the annualized quarter growth rate then, Hans?
Yeah, the annualized fourth quarter rate, if 0.5% is the actual growth percentage, then you have to multiply by 4. to get the annualized fourth quarter
No, that's
growth rate.
no. You know what? Just continue, Pima. We're getting stuck in technicalities here. Okay, I do want to make sure that we can figure that out too. Yeah, okay. We're getting. So let's just a second. 1.83. Yeah, 0.5%. Blah, 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 blah. All right, hold on one more second. Hmm. Okay, so he talks about balancing the budget where there's going to be blood, and we could go back and he talks about the Gilded Age, and we can look at that too. Let's see. Okay, so here we are. Let's back where we are. And for everyone marching in the streets and campaigning on more tax, you have to contend with this reality. For every dollar of new tax revenue collected since 2019, the federal government has added $158 in new spending. You can't fill a bathtub with the drain open. Every country except Japan has spent any meaningful time above 130% debt to GDP has ended in internal conflict, revolution, or economic collapse. Do you know what the United States is currently at? 123%. So that's another reason that he's saying that right now America is going to be driven to some sort of mass violence. So another the part 3 of what he had said, which I can go up and just cover real quick.
It's already been driven to mass violence. We just killed over 100,000 fucking Iranians. That's mass violence.
Yeah. So he talks about the tariffs. So let's see. Oh, okay. Balance the budget or there's going to be blood. Every major period of sustained economic inequality in recorded history has ended one of two ways: structural reform or mass violence. History shows that there's no third option. The Gilded Age, pre-revolutionary France, Roman of Russia, Weimar Germany. Every time you combine extreme inequality with an affordability crisis, one of those two things happen: the structure gets fixed or the structure gets destroyed. This is why Democrats will rightly run on a platform of affordability during the midterms, but watch the policies they put forward. If they aren't about balancing the budget, it will all be for naught. Same with the Republicans. Independent voters will swing from one side to the other and back again, hoping one of them was finally going to fix it. But you can't fix it with words. The budget must be balanced. The great news is the way out of our problems is relatively simple, but if it doesn't begin with a balanced budget, you can know every word out of their mouths. After that is completely illogical and it's not going to save us. Even historical violence didn't solve the problem. And that's one of the most important things I want to get across today. I understand why someone wants to burn a warehouse. I understand why people feel violent towards those that think they're holding them back. But the reality of how violence impacts the actual change is that it simply makes things so painful that every woman will finally be willing to accept austerity and balance the budget. But there's no way around needing to balance the budget. Here's the part. And here's the part that people cheering on Kamal Abdul Karim and Luigi Mangione have to contend with. When the structure gets destroyed and mass violence is the path, or when mass violence is the path people choose, the people who suffer are the most are never the people at the top, at least not the bulk of them. They have lawyers, security, insurance, continuity plans, and extreme mobility. You'll watch a few of them, but overall, they're going to be fine. Kimberly Clark's supply chain was already routing around the fire as it was still burning, and ultimately, they didn't miss a beat. The people who suffer from that fire are the people who are already struggling to make ends meet, namely the 20 coworkers of Abdul Karim who lost their job when he burned the place down. They had nothing to do with the wage structure, the inflation rate, or the balance sheet of NFI Industries that owned the warehouse. So now let me show you something about the anger as solution path, how the anger as solution path actually works. Take one of the most famous examples of a violent uprising bringing about change, the French Revolution. The whole idea of let them eat cake, it was so out of touch. Kill the morons and let peace reign, right? That's how people think about it. But Marie Antoinette never actually said the line that supposedly justified killing her and the other aristocrats. The whole let them eat cake thing was written by Jacques Rousseau in 1765 when Marie Antoinette was only 9 years old, living in Austria, and had never even been to France. Rousseau attributed the line to someone else that he called a great princess. It wasn't her. Not one newspaper from the actual French Revolution ever cited that quote. The people who guillotined her never used it as evidence against her. It wasn't attached to her name in print until 1843, 50 years after her execution, as people were trying to whitewash and sanitize what actually happened. And we all risk losing the actual lesson of the catastrophe of the French Revolution. The French Revolution did not produce equality, it produced the reign of terror. 17,000 executions, the majority of them not aristocrats, but instead middle class lawyers, merchants, journalists, farmers, and eventually the very revolutionaries themselves. Robespierre, the man who built the guillotine murder machine, was himself fed into it. Oh, and into all of that chaos stepped Napoleon. Not somebody who ushered in equality. Instead, it was somebody who took all of that revolutionary energy and pointed it outward and created 20 years of war all across Europe. 3 to 6 million people dead, the working class men who had stormed the Bastille, dreaming of bread and dignity, ended up dying in Russian snowfields. Again, the rage is justified. It was justified then, it's justified now. Reform was necessary. Reform is necessary now. But we've got to get the policy right, because when policy is dictated by bloodlust and raw emotion rather than physics of money, the outcome is guaranteed to be terrible. And there's a noble reason why, because it doesn't address the underlying economic policy decisions that caused the problem in the first place. And that brings us to the brutal truth. This moment in history is going to be more difficult to unwind than the Gilded Age, to turn the ship around. During the Gilded Age, Teddy Roosevelt, one of the 4 people on Mount Rushmore, what he focused on was breaking the monopolies. Always a good idea. Labor laws got passed, absolutely fantastic. Progressive taxation came in, great. That was sufficient to change the underlying math. And it gave birth to the longest sustained run of middle class wealth growth in American history. But the Gilded Age reformers didn't have to crawl out from under crushing debt and the devastating effects of money printing. When Teddy Roosevelt went after Standard Oil and U.S. Steel, the government wasn't already running a $2 trillion annual deficit. Wages weren't being eroded every year by the money printing that those deficits that we now have require. The structural reforms they put in place had room to work because the fiscal foundation wasn't actively rotting beneath their feet. But our foundation is rotten right now. The inequality that we're suffering from is being driven by deficit spending and money printing, not monopolies and under taxation of the wealthy. I know that's a very popular mantra. The US already spends the same amount per citizen as Sweden, France, Germany, and the Netherlands. And we massively outspend places like Canada and the UK. And the countries that spend more than us, still sticking to something closer to a balanced budget, do so by taxing everyone. And they do it through taxes like the VAT. Now, a lot of people don't understand what VAT is, but VAT is a value added tax.
Do you know that John got up and left the chair and he's gone now?
Meaning, you tried that twice and it didn't work.
He did. I just watched his YouTube. He left.
You're an asshole.
That's why I looked at his live stream. He got up and fucking left the room.
Do you know what a VAT is, Rich? Do you want to tell us?
I honestly, like, you remind me of like my professor at school always talking about Marxist critiques without solution. That's what a slide on you. I had these Marxist critiques for like 4 years of my life at university. And every time I was like, theoretically, it's so nice, it sounds so lovely, but in the real world, it's terrible, it doesn't work.
You know, like they'll say, like, eat the rich people. You know? What do you think the argument is here? The argument is inequality is getting worse, and eventually, if you don't sort out equality, and like in the past, you're gonna get into civil war. It's gonna be terrible, and an uprising is gonna happen. But it never happened in the United States. It just never did. And that's the argument here. The argument of Marxists like Bernie Sanders is like, if you don't fix inequality, eventually we're gonna eat you. And then you get like a 120-pound guy in like Seattle with like an Antifa tattoo saying he's gonna eat the rich when he's can't even eat his own lunch because he's living in his mother's basement. Look, I love this Marxist critique, and we can talk about it all day long, Bima. Like, I love hearing about it, but these Marxists just offer critiques. There's never a solution to their problems. And the solutions they have, you get a Cuba, you get a Venezuela, you just get hell on earth, you know, when you go to these Marxist countries. And when people say, like, oh, socialism and everything, when you go to Norway is a oil well state. You know, Norway drills the North Sea. The United Kingdom doesn't because Keir Starmer doesn't let them drill the North Sea. So Norway gets billions and billions of dollars. That's why they have a $1 trillion fund every single year, and the United Kingdom does not have that. And yet Keir Starmer won't let them dig up in the north. And then he complains about the Straits of Hormuz.
And Bima.
Wait, I like this.
No, wait. Be accommodating to your guests. Wait.
I just don't like when people just have a critique.
No, I brushed my teeth. I'm about to go to bed.
Well, there is a solution.
For clarification, John, did you hear everything Bima said?
Yeah, I heard it. I just want to say one thing, and it's that I just brushed my teeth. What I'm trying to say is Bernie Sanders is a unicorn politician because he has raised $750 million, and he's a fucking hypocrite and a pickle farmer. I'm complete.
Orange smut magazines or books. It's like core porn.
My thing is like, I'm not against you with this sort of thing, but I'm just like, it just doesn't work. Because I read all of these stuff. I did for you. Go ahead. There's no positions. Nobody's taking any positions. I'm sharing. No, I'm sharing what his original claim was, right? And then I'm sharing the facts that he presented to support his claim. And then we're opening it up for discussion. He's a Marxist socialist, love. Billy is? Yes. Well, you know, you don't get it from. He's actually he's a Marxist socialist, bro. That's why he's putting that work out there. And the only reason I know who the hell he is because I had to read about him. Yeah, I have not heard Billy. I don't think that there's. No, that can't be. Like Rousseau. Have you heard about Rousseau? Rousseau, as in Jean-Jacques Rousseau? Yeah. Okay, do you know who Billy is? I do. Okay, who is Billy? Billy is one of the early and current Marxist professors that writes. He's like the Bernie. He's like, how do I put it this way? He's like where AOC, Bernie Sanders, who's the other one? Help me out, Rashida Tlaib, and all those ones get the ideas from memory. So when did Billy live? What era was he born? Don't. I'm not sure. No, Billy is he's an influencer. He's a YouTube influencer. I'm so wrong, but I'm so sorry. He's like libertarian. He's far right. He's definitely not Marxist.
How do you spell his last name?
ILU.
BILU.
BILEU. Yeah. That sounds like a box. BLY. Bilyeu. Yeah. Okay. So let's get back. So what is his solution?
Yes, please. That's the thing I want to know the most.
All right. So let's see. All right. Let's talk about the solution and what's standing in the way of it. I'll map out how I'm thinking about positioning myself in case the political machine continues to its insane dysfunction. Remember Shays' Rebellion? Farmers who fought for liberty because they were losing their farms to debt collectors. The founders looked at that rage and didn't just dismiss it. They asked what structural failure produced it, and built the United States Constitution as the answer. Remember the homestead workers who bled for wages that couldn't cover their bills? The violence didn't fix the math. What fixed it was a generation that looked at the carnage and demanded specific structural reform, antitrust laws, labor protections, progressive taxation, until the math actually changed. Both times, the people who solved the problem understood one thing the angry people didn't. The target isn't a group of people. The target is the mechanism, the way that the economy actually works. What specific part of the economy? And then address that. And it's going to be different every time. If we try to run the anti-monopoly playbook when monopolies aren't our problem, or we try to tax people more when we're already nearing the top of the Laffer curve, it's not going to work. The politicians and central bankers didn't wave a magic wand and break the economy. They enacted specific policies that had negative consequences. We have to fix those policies and change the mechanism if we want to solve the problem. Taxing billionaires more doesn't actually generate more revenue, at least not enough to deal with problems that we have. And even if it did, it wouldn't solve the problem of a chronically unbalanced budget. The only thing that actually stops the middle class destruction machine is a balanced budget and a de-globalized world. We could do a whole deep dive on that. Now, I know that sounds like fantasy right now, and honestly, politically, it probably is. No one's going to get elected on austerity right now. Certainly not during a populist moment like this one, but crazier things have happened. And I think